2 now. The count is that one missed. Sorry about that, folks. If you're just joining us at home, we apologize. A little technical difficulty to start as that one skied out right side by Reinheimer. Shallow right field as Heath comes on, and he will call off second baseman Diego Goris for the first half of the inning. If you're just joining us, 1-0 already here for Gastonia on the solo shot by Hurley Rodriguez. That'll bring up Joseph Rosa now with 1 out in the inning, and Rosa will bat from the right side of the plate, as we talked about, with the left-handed pitcher on the mound, a switch-hitting second baseman that can truly play on both sides of the batter's box. First pitch set to come home here from Lawler. 6.14 ERA going to go up a bit here, as in the first inning, 3 pitches in, a 2-0 count. Fastball found way too much in the middle of the plate. Hurley Rodriguez sitting all over it. Over 20 hits so far this month for Rodriguez. Oh, 2 the count now here to Rosa. He'll step back in. 326 average so far for Rosa, sitting top 5 in OPS and batting average so far this season in the Atlantic League. Fouls that one back into the screen, stays 0-2. Not a guy that's going to go down easily, especially when it comes via the strikeout. Now, don't get me wrong. He'll have a fair amount of strikeouts, but a guy that will make you work to earn that out, that is for sure. Lawler on another 0-2. Curveball grounded left side. Scooped up by Justice across his body. He'll get the out for round number 2 that time. A beautiful play that time by Connor. Justice came up, scooped it, and fired it all in one motion. And got the speedy Rosa down the first base line. Luis Castro will step in with 2 outs here in this bottom half of the first. John Anderson will come back out in the top of the second, already with a lead. The solo shot by Hurley Rodriguez getting us underway on this beautiful Tuesday night. Temperatures up over 90 degrees here this afternoon, although a lot different in terms of the humidity category. That'll be back into play tomorrow night, but for tonight, we'll take it where it's at. Lights are on, but sun is shining onto a majority of the field. Home plate with just a tiny bit of shadow cast over it at this point. First pitch comes in here to Castro. He'll dance out of the way for ball 1. 259 is Castro so far. He launched one in the last series against Charleston a week ago. And part of that bottom of the 8th inning that made it 14-7 in this very game, or I should say in this very matchup between Lawler and Anderson. Both guys had been out of the game by that point, but 8 runs over their final 3 at-bats put that game away after it had diminished down to a 6-5 lead. 1-1 to Castro. Breaking ball stays upstairs, 82 miles an hour there, 2-1 count. Castro hitting .241 against lefties so far, 7 hits this season, 3 of those being home runs, so a guy that can definitely lift the ball on a left-handed pitcher. That one way up around the eyes, no chase, and it's 3-1. Three-game series for the 3rd straight week against Charleston. Be the final time they meet in the first half. Still one more game coming up against High Point as his first half continues. Big swing that time by Castro on the 3-1. We'll make it a full count with 2 away now. Castro took a hack and a half on that one. Ended up losing the bottom hand on the bat. He swung so hard. Out in front of the 87-mile-an-hour pitch on the 3-1. Expecting fastball. He got it, but fortunately just fouled it off. Lawler looking to get out of the inning with just the 1 run. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and he does just that, but a solo shot by Hurley Rodriguez. 1 hit, 1 run. And it's 1-0 after 1 here on this Tuesday night in Gastonia. We're back right after this. More Honey Hunters baseball coming your way on WGNC 1450 AM and 101 FM here in Gastonia, Charlotte.
Don't miss out on all the action at Caramount Health Park this summer. Get your tickets for every Honey Hunters home game by calling 704-874-1810 or log on to www.gohoneyhunters.com/tickets to reserve your spot this season. That number again, 704-874-1810. Gastonia Honey Hunters Baseball, 704-874-1810. Looking for a new career? Want to make an upwards of $40,000 a year? Want to work a schedule that fits your lifestyle? Want to do it all from the front seat of your car? I thought I had your attention. Domino's is hiring. If you want to cash in on a new opportunity, log on to jobs.domino's.com. That's jobs.domino's.com.
Back here on the Honey Hunters Radio Network, a 1-0 second inning. As we go on into this top half of the second, Anderson out with a lead for the second straight week into the second inning. This time only one run on the board, but a long ball third of the season by Hurley Rodriguez to lead things off against Ryan Lawler. Lefty on lefty matchup, and Rodriguez getting the better of it. Continues his hot start of June. I say start. We're already in 9 days left in the month of June already. And like we said, including tonight, 13 games left in the first half of this season. 6.5 game lead right now, depending on what happens tonight with both this game and, of course, High Point. It's about a 6.5 game lead. The magic number is 8 at this point for this Honey Hunters team to lock up the South Division and a playoff spot in the 2022 ALPB playoffs coming up at the end of the season. 58 wins in all of last year, come into tonight with 36 in the first half. A much different first half, and of course it all starts with the pitching. Vastly improved pitching staff, and now the first place pitching staff in the league with a 3.42 ERA overall. That is best in the league by several hundredths of a point. That ball kicks in here from John Anderson, kind of stretches out his arms after the pitch. Alfredo Gonzalez will be the first one to meet him. A 1-2-3 inning for John Anderson in the first. So Gonzalez in the 4th spot will step up in, former White Sox. Second one comes to him. That one low and away as well. 2 balls, no strikes. Gonzalez hitting .284 so far this season, has 19 hits to show for it. .478 slugging percentage, because of those 19 hits, 3 home runs, 4 doubles. 3-0 now as that one misses low as well. Started off with 2 pitches and 2 outs for John Anderson in the top half of the first. Went to a 3-1 count against Connor Justice and then got him to fly out to end the inning. But 4 straight pitches there will put a man on to start the inning. First walk surrendered by John Anderson. Didn't have a walk in 5 1/3 last week. So leadoff base runner here, Alfredo Gonzalez. That'll lead it up to Diego Goris, the second baseman. Goris comes in hitting .232 so far this year. Right now just trying to move Alfredo Gonzalez into scoring position to try to get that run back surrendered in the bottom half of the first inning. Played the last couple of years down in the Dominican League. Was in the Mexican League before that. And, in fact, hasn't been up in the States since back in 2018, played in AAA El Paso for the Padres organization. 86 hits in 2018, but first year back in the States here in 2022. 0-1 fouled straight back as that one's going to clear the facade here at Caramount Health Park. I don't think anybody actually saw where that ball went, but I think it went back towards Franklin Boulevard here in Gastonia. Either way, a quick 0-2 count here to Goris. Standing on deck, Yovan Gonzalez, as he hit a deep home run off of John Anderson to close the gap last week. Like we said before, Anderson ended up leaving. Ended up being a 6-5 game heading in to the latter half of the ball game. Then 8 runs over the final 3 at-bats for Gastonia put the game away at 14-7. Anderson got the win, Lawler the loss. 0-2. Skips in. Nice scoop behind the plate by Stuart Levy. Has that orange and black on his helmet. Almost looks like Buster Posey behind the plate. Especially with his way he comes up out of the crouch ready to fire. 10 caught stealing so far this season for this Gastonia team. Of course, lead the league in stolen bases themselves, well over 100, as they continue to move on the base paths whenever they got the chance. 1 ball, 2 strike. Anderson delivers. Curveball misses way upstairs as he falls off the side of the mound and does a little jog around to grab the ball here from Levy before he gets back on it. Just kind of fell off the right side of the mound on the follow-through. Anderson coming off the inactive list for last week. Started in this very game on last Wednesday night, got the win. Is a guy that will give you contact, more importantly, light contact. Every once in a while, someone will run into it as he checks on the runner at first. Gonzalez will be back safely. Gonzalez thought about it as Anderson not paying attention, walking back up onto the mound, and middle infield going through their checks for this next pitch, but Gonzalez decided to stay at first. Doesn't want to give away an out here. 2-2 count, nobody out, runner at first. Curveball skied up to the left side. Levy has a play on it as he throws his helmet off, but ends up getting a little bit too much backspin to it and trickles over the top half of the net. Now a couple of youngsters racing to find a souvenir behind home plate. Good crowd on this Tuesday night. Full effect is summer. So summer vacation, the kids coming out to the ballpark. If you haven't been able to make it out to a game so far this season, make sure you do. Not only do you get to watch your first place Gastonia Honey Hunters, but a great show put on here by the folks that run this ballpark. And this organization has put a lot of time and effort into making sure you have the best time possible. So make sure you get out and join us. Wind down Wednesday tomorrow. Unoriginal Thirsty Thursday coming up on Thursday. They'll round out a 3-game series against Charleston. Another 2-2 set to come home here from Anderson. Goris making him work for it. Pitch. Down and in, ball 3. And now all of a sudden, Anderson's going to have to dial up and bring one home here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at first base, nobody out. Jovan Gonzalez waits on deck. Had a 3-run homer last Wednesday night. Goris back in. Anderson looking for the sign here on the 3-2. Little shimmy from Gonzalez in the pitch. Low and away, ball 4, and a great at-bat by Diego Goris will make it first and second with nobody out here in the top half of the second inning. Threatening are Charleston for the first time tonight. Jovan Gonzalez, the DH, will step into the box. The other Gonzalez, if you will. 103 plate appearances so far this season, 31 hits, as he comes in with a 301 slash line in terms of batting average. RBI number 22 waiting out on second. Big secondary by Gonzalez out there at second base. Catcher dancing about halfway down the line on his secondary lead. Goris at first. Nobody out here in this top half of the second inning. Talked about it. Second triple play in under a month was turned this past weekend in Lexington for your Gastonia Honey Hunters. Anderson trying to at least roll up a pair here if he can, in whatever fashion that may look like. Welcome you in here on WGNC 1450 AM 101 FM. On this beautiful night for baseball in Gastonia. Professional baseball back once again. Tradition that started back in 1922 as that ball skied out right side by Gonzalez, well out of play to make it 1-2. As I mentioned, my apologies, 1923. A split team between Columbia and Gastonia. 44-96 record, if you're wondering. Tough spot, but hey, first year in the league, what are you going to do? But since that point, of course, teams like the Rangers, the Cardinals, the Expos, the Tigers have all come through here. A successful collegiate league team in the Gastonia Grizzlies for the Coastal Plain League, and of course now for the past 2 years, professional baseball back in the form of your Honey Hunters. 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Jovan Gonzalez. Anderson delivers. Another one high and outside, 3-2, so danger of walking the bases loaded here to start this top half of the second inning is Anderson. Anderson so far this year, 44 strikeouts, 16 walks, but 2 walks, no strikeouts so far here in this game. Of course, just the second inning of work, but different from what we saw a week ago. Deep breath here from Anderson before the 3-2 delivery. Take a glance back at Alfredo Gonzalez. Pitch comes home, ground ball left side, well foul, and we'll redo it at 3 balls and 2 strikes. One nothing lead here for Gastonia, in trouble right now. Back-to-back walks to start the inning. Have made it first and second. Another 3-2 count for the second consecutive hitter here for John Anderson. Jovan Gonzalez trying to find a fastball somewhere. Low and away, and it skips in. Ball 4. 3 straight walks to start this inning. And its bases full of dirty birds. And a chance to strike here in this top half of the second. That'll lead it up to Tyler Blom, the first baseman. And now mound conference here as Stuart Levy will come out. Reggie Harris will come out of the dugout as well. Henry Martinez will make his way down to the bullpen here. Looks like to get warmed up. At least start getting a right-handed arm loose. Reggie Harris, we've talked about it, has done a fantastic job this season. The front office went out to get pitchers. You got to have coaching, though, to really get the pitchers to buy into this system. They've done it. They are the number 1 pitching staff in the league right now at a 3.42 ERA. Reggie Harris, a successful pitcher in and of his own right, 95 strikeouts at the major league level, 26th overall pick in 1987. Back for his second season here in Gastonia 2022. Quick mound conference as Tyler Blom will step in, another right-handed hitter in the lineup. First 2 guys in the order were lefty hitters, and then it's been a steady diet of righties over these last 4 hitters, and now 5 with Tyler Blom stepping to the plate. Blom hitting .368 with 7 hits and 2 RBIs against the lefties so far this season, as that one fouled out to this near side, back towards here in the booth at Caramount Health Park. Luckily, there's a gigantic net there, so I don't have to worry about breaking out my catching skills. No balls, 1 strike. Tyler Blom spent some time in the Frontier League in his career. Didn't see a lot of him last week. He pinch hit at one point a week ago. This season hitting .307 with 23 hits for Charleston. As he lines this one out into left field, that one's going to drop in for a base hit. 1 run will score. They'll hold the runner from second. As he'll stand in, a good throw out there from Hampton, has an arm. In fact, everybody in the outfield for Gastonia has a pretty decent arm out there, and Hampton, Rodriguez, and Jarrett, so they'll hold the runner and just go station to station. But already a 1-1 game as the tying run comes home to score. Alfredo Gonzalez, the one that scores the run. Goris goes to third, Jovan Gonzalez to second, and Tyler Blom picks up another RBI here this season. Good, short, simple kind of hitting. Head of the bat to it, and a line drive single with the bases loaded. That's all you need. Even if it is kind of that station to station on this merry-go-round, it remains bases loaded, nobody out, 1 run home already. And a 1-0 count here. As it be Scott Bertram, the hero of Sunday for Charleston. Walked it off in the 11th inning 12-11 against High Point. We talked about it last week. This is a team in Charleston that does run into a pretty good win every once in a while. Same thing happened last week. Despite going up early in that game, falling behind somewhat late through the middle innings, they stayed right into it, never out of that game, and ended up winning 6-4 with 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. Curveball outside, called a strike, and it's 1-2. Good pitch to backdoor him on the curveball there on a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Always a tough one. Still looking for that first out here in this top half of the second. So that double play in order, forced it any base right now for Anderson, a guy that will pitch to contact, so his defense is trying to come up big for him. I think they'll sacrifice a run for a double play here. Big swing and a miss, though, as he blows one right by. 92 miles an hour, a little something extra for John Anderson. One of the higher velo pitches we've seen out of Anderson's arm so far this season. And a big strikeout, as that will now set up a inning-ending double play if they can roll one up throughout the infield. First strikeout of the game for Anderson. Down to Scott Kelly in the 9-hole. Strikeout number 45 here in 2022 for number 22 for this Gastonia team, and John Anderson back for another year. Welcome sight in the bullpen, that is for sure, and now, of course, has worked his way into an everyday starter. First pitch comes home, called a strike to Scott Kelly across the knees. Anderson, a 28th round pick by Toronto back in 2008. Last season, 34 innings pitched, 25 strikeouts. It's been 8 seasons in the minors, over 500 innings pitched with 410 strikeouts. And it's been 4 seasons in the Atlantic League in his career, 3 of them with Lancaster. Big swing in the dirt that time by Kelly, and a quick 0-2 count. Top of the order due up next to Nick Heath. Lined out on one pitch his first time around, out to Hurley Rodriguez in center. Kelly hitting .232, a role player for this Charleston team. He's also the hitting coach, funny enough. That's what I love about the Atlantic League and a lot of these independent leagues. You got guys that have been around it for a while. Scott Kelly's been around it for a few years now. All in the Atlantic League dating back to 2014. Started with Somerset. Spent most of his time with Somerset. Came over to West Virginia back in 2021. And then here with now Charleston as they rebranded this season to the Dirty Birds, were formerly the West Virginia Power. Beautiful ballpark up there, Appalachian Power Park. Oh, 0-2 the count as that one fouled away there by Scott Kelly, fighting off another 0-2 pitch. Kelly, a right-handed hitter, hitting .173 so far this season. 9 hits and 52 at-bats. So, guy that is well below the Mendoza line against the left-handed pitching so far this season. .205 with runners in scoring position. Just missed low and outside. Anderson wanted it, did not get it. If you're going to miss low in this ballpark, and Anderson didn't miss by much. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kelly does have 14 RBIs with runners in scoring position. A couple of them out there right now. That ball skips in, blocked well by Levy. Anderson came off the mound. He knew he was going to spike it the second it came out of his hand. So a good follow by the pitcher, but Levy a good job to block it, and no advance from the runner down at third of Diego Goris. Forced it any base, trying to roll up a double play and keep it at just a 1-run inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes here to the number 9 hitter in Scott Kelly. Anderson looking down at the ground and a deep breath here before he toes the rubber on a 2-2 pitch. Still trying to find the sign from Levy as he cycles through. Maybe trying to just draw the timeout here from Kelly. Still not coming set. Kelly not calling timeout, so the battle won there, I guess. Anderson kicks and deals. Ground ball left side. Playable here for Reinheimer. To Rosa. Over to Castro. Picks it out of the dirt. And there's that inning double play they needed. 37 double play rolled by the infield this season. Reinheimer to Rosa to Castro. One run does come home to score on one base hit, and we're tied at one. Into the bottom of the second we go. Raider Ascanio, Reese Hampton, and Zach Jarrett due up for Gastonia when we get back here on the Gastonia Honey Hunters Radio Network. We're back right after this.
Fans, make sure that you come out for an exciting June at Caramount Health Park as your Gastonia Honey Hunters take on the best of the Atlantic League. On June 10th through 12th, the High Point Rockers make their way to Caramount Health Park. On June 14th through 16th, as well as the 21st through the 23rd, the Charleston Dirty Birds come to Caramount Health Park. The Wild Health Genomes return to Caramount Health Park from June 28th through the 30th. Get your tickets by calling 704-874-1810. The number again, 704-874-1810. 704-874-1810. Gastonia Honey Hunters Baseball, your hometown team. Get social with your favorite baseball team at Go Honey Hunters on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. That's at Go Honey Hunters on all of our social media platforms. Since 1927, GSM Services has been the experts for providing services and finding solutions for issues such as heating and cooling, hot, cold, or drafty rooms, high utility bills, nasty crawl spaces, attic insulation, duct and dryer vent cleanings, indoor air quality, and much more. GSM Services, your one-stop shop for all comfort issues in your home. GSM offers 100% satisfaction guaranteed, and right now they're offering a free home energy audit. So if you're having any issues in your home or office, know that you can always trust leaving your comfort to GSM. Call 1-800-NEW-COOL or visit GSM-since-1927.com to talk to someone about any comfort issues you're having in your home. GSM is a proud sponsor of your Gastonia Honey Hunters.
There's a quote on the right field line facing Franklin Boulevard here at Caramount Health Park by Muhammad Ali that says, don't count the days, make the days count. And that's exactly what this Gastonia team has done throughout the first half of this season. 36 wins, 16 losses, 6.5 games up in the South Division right now. The magic number at this particular moment is 8. Tied at 1. Raider Ascanio will lead things off here in the bottom of the second. Could have been an ugly inning for John Anderson, but he bounced back and got the pitcher's best friend after getting a strikeout. He walked the bases loaded to start the inning. Got an RBI single out of Tyler Blom to tie the game at 1. A strikeout, 6-4-3 double play is how the inning ended. Now Lawler will come back out, even strength at 1-1 here in the bottom of the second. Raider Ascanio takes a high pitch there on the second one of the at-bat. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ascanio, another guy that has seen his batting average continue to rise here in the month of June. Hitting over 300 against left-handed pitching so far this season. 10 hits, 4 doubles, 3 RBIs. Looking for a base hit to lead things off here in this bottom half of the second inning. That one up around the letters there. Honey Hunters wearing the home whites with the Honey Hunters written across the chest. Black hats, black helmets, of course. Meanwhile, the visitors are in their road grays, blue numbers, orange outlines. Some funky colors for Charleston. Gotta love it. As that one misses high and a ball 4 as Ascanio will take his base. So we'll lead off walk here in the bottom of the second. It gets us started just like the top half of the inning. That'll lead it up to Reese Hampton. Hampton, another guy with a 2-hit performance in that series-clinching game against Lexington on Sunday. Had a big game back on Wednesday night of last week. 4 for 5 with 2 RBIs, 3 runs scored to be exact. Hampton with an RBI single in his first time up in that game on a hit and run against Ryan Lawler. Ascanio, a guy that will move, ground ball left side. That one sees its way into left field, and first pitch swinging is Reese Hampton. He'll have a base hit, And it's first and second, nobody out. Here for Gastonia, the bottom half of the second. That'll bring up Zach Jarrett. So mimicking the start that we saw to the top half of this inning, 2 on, nobody out. Reese Hampton picks up another base hit this season. That latest base hit will give Hampton now 33, which will bring up Zach Jarrett. 38 hits for Jarrett. His numbers continuing to rise. He had a couple of big shots in that game against Ryan Lawler. Last one almost put one out of here in his first at-bat. Hit off the top of the fence and fell to the floor. Fell to the field, excuse me. Again, 30-foot fence out there in left field. Even with the way this wind carries, you got to get it up in the jet stream. Just tucked it underneath the yellow piping. Ended up getting an RBI out of it, though. 1-0 as that one missed high. Jarrett, right up the road, his hometown of Hickory, North Carolina. Of course, son of famed NASCAR legend and Dale Jarrett. Played his college ball down the road at UNC Charlotte. 250 hits in 250 games for Zach Jarrett. Spent last year bouncing around the Orioles organization before making his way here to Gastonia this season. 367 hits in just 4 seasons in the minor leagues. The 1-0 set to come home. The ball skied out to center field as Seymour will round his way underneath. Ascanio puts a foot on second base to tag. Starts that way, but a throw from Heath will hold up Ascanio at second base. That'll be the first out of the inning, as the flyout will make it still first and second with just one away. Jalen Smith, the DH, will tow his way in. Jalen Smith last Sunday got his first start in a uniform for Gastonia. Played out at second base, had a 3-hit day. 9-5 win against High Point. And, of course, gave an ever-important day off to Joseph Rosa. Jalen Smith going to be that guy that will fill in spots tonight in the DH role as he steps up with 2 on and 1 out. Decatur, Georgia native. Hey, shout out to Decatur. Born there as well. Fresh out of Kennesaw State. So a Georgia guy through and through. Part of the A-Sun Conference. Kennesaw State getting a bid to the NCAA tournament this season. Speaking of which, a lot of action going on down in Omaha. College World Series, always a good time of year for baseball. High school baseball wrapping up around the country. College baseball in full throes of the College World Series in Omaha. And, of course, Major League Baseball in the thick of the first half of their season, heading in towards the All-Star break coming up in the month of July. Atlantic League and most independent leagues about a third of the way or almost halfway through their seasons. 66 games in each half of this year for the Atlantic League. And right now, 6.5-game lead for Gastonia, 36-16. 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed there by Smith. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Smith trying to do something with that ball, but it died out in the way. 82 miles an hour. I would suspect a circle change on that one. Ball that will start up around belt high and all of a sudden just fall off a shelf to a right-handed hitter as they go out and chase it. Good crowd on hand on this Tuesday night. Beautiful night for baseball here in Gastonia. 2-strike count as that one spikes in about a foot shy of the plate. Alfredo Gonzalez pops his way up. Reese Hampton, of course, leads the league in stolen bases out there, and crazy stat for you. 3 of the top 5 stolen base leaders in the league are on this Gastonia team. They also have 7 of the top 20. It's almost half of the top 20 stolen base getters in the league this season are on this Gastonia team led by Reese Hampton. Jalen Smith ready to go. Traded over from Staten Island. Went from last place to first place. And making it count in a Honey Hunters uniform. Quick check out there by Lawler as Ascanio was dancing his way off second. Big secondary out there. Nobody really holding him on. Now Gore's playing a little chess match with him. 2-2 count. Runner fakes go. Check swing, called a strike as it was tipped in to the glove of Alfredo Gonzalez, and that'll make it 2 outs now with the runners at first and second still. Good bounce back here by Ryan Lawler. That's what we saw back a week ago. Gave up 6 runs on 6 hits in that first inning. But from that point on, until the fourth, did not give up another run. Ended up getting chased from the game in that fourth inning. As that ball popped out here by Stuart Levy, who steps in the 9-hole here tonight for Gastonia. Try not to strand a runner in scoring position. Levy guy hitting just above 250 here at home, 259 to be exact. And with runners in scoring position with 2 outs, just 3 of 20 so far as Levy. But a perennial guy behind the plate. Has been kind of that everyday workhorse as this ball skied out deep left field. Back it goes, up and gone. Stuart Levy triples his production with some RBIs with 2 outs. A 3-run shot by Stuart Levy, second long ball of the game, and it's 4-1 here in the bottom half of the second inning. More 2-out magic by Gastonia. This time, Stuart Levy puts one up and over the left field fence, and Gastonia cooking once again here at home. And back to the top of the order we go with Hurley Rodriguez, who was the other one to come up with a home run so far in the game. So number 1 and number 9 in the order, both with long balls. A 2-0 count to Hurley Rodriguez to lead off the game. And the lefty caught a hold of a fastball and put it over the right field fence. He'll step back in here after the 3-run shot by Levy. Just the second home run of the season for Levy, as he's up to now 21 RBIs after the 3-run shot. And first pitch called a strike here to Rodriguez to start his at-bat. Lawler talking to himself in the glove after that last pitch, as he was up in the count but left it a little bit too far over the plate, and it just hung there, and Stuart Levy obliged, put the head of the bat to it, and sent it out of here. 1-1 as the second pitch misses out and away. Rodriguez will choke up just slightly here as he toes his way in towards the plate, breaking ball down in on the toes. It'll miss low, ball 2. Not a bad pitch though. If you're a left-handed hitter on a lefty pitcher, that's a tough one to get around on, and more often than not will just saw your bat in half. 2 balls, 1 strike. That one misses low, 3-1. And just like last week against Lawler, unfortunately for him, it was 2-out magic for this lineup. 6 runs, all with 2 outs in the bottom half of that first inning. Was all the damage they needed in the game. Never surrendered the lead throughout the rest of it. And tonight, all a 4-1 lead here in the bottom half of the second inning. This ball poked out into center. As coming on to make the play is Anthony Seymour for out number 3, but not before Stuart Levy gets a hold of one and rides it out of here for a 3-run shot. It's 4-1 after 2 here in Gastonia. On into the top half of the third inning as for the second straight time, John Anderson will come out with a lead to work with. This time a 3-run lead, 4-1 the score. We're back right after this here on the Honey Hunters Radio Network.
Hey kids, have you seen it? Better yet, have you tried it? It's the new look Watson's Kids Zone at Caramont Health Park. The Watson's Kids Zone is new and improved with a slide that I've heard can give you a view of Charlotte. Allegedly. It is the best game day experience possible, and you can find it at Caramont Health Park during every Gastonia Honey Hunters game. The new Watson's Kids Zone at Caramont Health Park. Folks, do you find yourself lacking confidence in public places? Would you like to earn respect among your peers and be well received socially? I've got just the answer. The Honey Hunters Team Store is your source for all the best looking t-shirts, hats, and accessories for you, your kids, and even your dog. Look good, feel good, fan better. It's always drip season at the Honey Hunters Team Store at Caramont Health Park.
John Anderson steps back out with another lead here in this top half of the third. A 3-run shot by Stuart Levy. Just his third home run of the season, but a big one here. 21 RBIs now after the 3-run shot. And all 3 runs, of course, coming with 2 outs. You look back at the start of that inning, very similar to what we saw in the top half of the second. It started out as bases loaded in the top half of the second. Well, it started out first and second, a walk and a base hit by Ascanio and Hampton, respectively. But then a fly out and a strikeout. And Levy down a strike in the count. Found a ball that hung over the plate a little bit too much for Ryan Lawler. And they pretty much no-doubter over the left field fence on top of the batting cages out there towards the parking lot. 4-1 our score into the top half of the third as Anderson back out with another lead. A little more breathing room besides the 1 run here. We'll see if he can come out and start it differently than he did the second. He walked the bases loaded to start the top half of the second. An RBI single by Blom, then a strikeout and a 6-4-3 double play into the inning. Back to the top of the lineup we go. Nick Heath, a line out on the first pitch of the ball game. Out to center field as Hurley Rodriguez made a play to his left. Heath, the former Arizona Diamondback, like we said last year, played in the major leagues with Arizona. This year started the season in Reno, the AAA level for Arizona, but ended up getting picked up a week ago today by this Charleston team. Played in the series last week, did not record a hit as he grounds the first pitch right side this time. And the lefty-on-lefty matchup, once again, is underway. 90 miles an hour. That's something tonight, it's something to take notice of here for John Anderson, has really started to ratchet up the velocity a little bit. 92 on the strikeout that he had against Scott Burcham. Big rip there, 88 miles an hour, but behind it on the foul tip there was Heath, and it's quickly 1 ball and 2 strike here to leadoff hitter for Charleston. On deck, Anthony Seymour. Top 3, 4-1 lead for Gastonia here on this Tuesday night. 2 straight series that Gastonia, I should say 2 straight series against Charleston that Gastonia has lost on a Tuesday night matchup. Trying to change those fortunes here tonight. Still a long time left to be played, but offense starting hot here again for Gastonia. Curveball grounded back up the middle. Right there is Reinheimer. Scoops it, fires it, and it's 1 up, 1 down to start the inning. And Reinheimer couldn't have had him played better. That's something we talk about with the shift and the numbers. Do they work? Well, of course, the one thing about sabermetrics and the shift and all that stuff is it does take a little bit of the unpredictability, if you will, of the game out of the equation. Now that, of course, favors the team that does it because they're able to take away a bad hop or whatever it might be. Reinheimer doing a good job on a turf field, staying down on that ball. Pretty hot shot there by Heath. That'll bring up Seymour. He swung and grounded out on the first pitch he saw last time up. He'll take the first pitch here for a ball. Second one to Seymour on the 1-0. Takes it right down Main Street for strike 1. Anthony Seymour, a switch hitter. One of the couple that Charleston has on the roster. A 7th round pick by the Marlins back in 2014. Out of Delray Beach, Florida. Went to high school at American Heritage. Played last year as a part of the Kane County squad for the American Association. 2019, got as high as AA in the Marlins organization. Bounced between the Marlins and Atlanta. At least franchises, that is. This year, though, comes in 262 overall, 45 hits for top 3 on the club. Well out in front of her breaking ball that time, 81 miles an hour, and almost facing directly towards that ball when he made contact was Anthony Seymour. 1 ball, 2 strikes again. Was born in the Nassau, Bahamas. Ended up going to high school in Delray Beach, Florida, where he was picked up by the Marlins in the 7th round as he fights one off there, up and in on the hands on a fastball. 91 jammed him, but just able to get the handle of the bat to it, fouls it off to the right side. It'll remain 1 ball, 2 strikes. Seymour is a switch hitter, hitting 260 this season against lefties. 1-2 pitch again. Outside as they try to get him to chase, but Seymour will let it go. Ball 2. Connor Justice waits on deck. Anderson just looking for a quick one again through the top half of this order. It was 1-2-3 in the top of the first through this same part. Heath already down here on a ground out. As now another 2-strike pitch to Seymour, just misses a bit outside. And by that, I mean it went back to the screen on a pitch that got loose. 88 miles an hour, just let go of the fastball a little bit too early. Luckily, a righty up to the bat, not a lefty. 3 balls, 2 strikes here. He's trying to earn his way on base here is Seymour. Another guy that struggled in that series a week ago. Line right side. Rosa gets it on 1 hop, spins, fires, and just like the top of the first, 2 up, 2 down through the first 2 hitters in the order. That'll bring up Connor Justice with nobody on. So both middle infielders getting in on the action on back-to-back plays. And it's 2-away here in this top half of the third. Looking to preserve that 3-run lead is John Anderson. And more importantly, the DH trying to go 5 strong if he can here once again. That'll bring up Connor Justice. Flew out to Zach Jarrett to end the first. Justice, though, hitting over 300 so far this season. Plays a fantastic defensive shortstop. Big rip there on one around the numbers. Saw a high fastball and just couldn't lay off. That's one of those ones that if you catch a hold of it with a barrel, it might go a long way, but more often than not, you're going to swing underneath it. Curveball down in the dirt, tips it off the edge of the bat, and it's quickly 0-2. Justice picked by the Angels back in the 5th round of the 2016 draft out of the Georgia Institute of Technology. That, of course, being Georgia Tech, for those of you that were wondering. Hit 279 in the ACC, but swings and misses on a strike 3 there as John Anderson gets him in order once again in the top of the third. It remains a 4-1 lead. On to the bottom of the third we go. We're back right after this as it'll be Reinheimer, Rosen, Castro due up in this bottom half of the third on the other half of the break on 1450 AM, 101 FM, WGNC, home of your Gastonia Honey Hunters here in 2022.
Folks, it's been the thrill of a lifetime to bring professional baseball back to the airwaves of Gaston County. As a lifelong supporter of Gastonia baseball, I understood at an early age how important it was to hear the game when I couldn't be at the game. And with the advent of internet streaming now, Gastonia Honey Hunters games have even more import within the community. It also provides a great opportunity to get your message out to the Gaston County community. If advertising with the Honey Hunters is something that interests you, give me a call at 704-874-1810 and inquire about advertising with the Gastonia Honey Hunters. The number again, 704-874-1810. The Honey Hunters Radio Network, your hometown team. Thank you for supporting Gastonia baseball.
This is Jake Skoll, your favorite outfielder for the Gastonia Honey Hunters, and you're listening to the Honey Hunters Radio Network.
On we go, bottom of the third inning. Still a 4-1 game All 4 runs for Gastonia coming via the long ball, a solo shot in the bottom of the first to lead things off for Hurley Rodriguez. And then with 2 outs and 2 on in the bottom of the second, a 3-run shot by Stuart Levy in the 9th spot. Gave them a 4-1 lead. John Anderson came back out, did the most with it. A 6-3 ground out, a 5-3 ground out, and the second strikeout of the game for Anderson is how the top half of this inning went. And that'll lead it up now to Reinheimer, Rosa, and Castro. The 3 to come up to the dish here, at least to start this bottom half of the third, as they look to add to the total against Ryan Lawler. 4 runs on 3 hits so far here to start the game against Ryan Lawler. Second straight week, Gastonia has started the tee off early against Lawler on the mound. 3-game set being played between these 3 teams for the 3rd consecutive week. Second straight here at home for Gastonia in the friendly confines of Caramount Health Park. Second in the league this season in home runs are the Honey Hunters. Came in, my apologies, as actually down to 5th now in the league in home runs. They were up to number 2. Has been a couple of days since a home run, but already 2 here tonight. That bumps them back up into 3rd over High Point and Lexington, who come into tonight tied at 55, now 56 on the season for this Gastonia lineup. So we are ready to go here for bottom of the 3rd action as Reinheimer will tow his way in. The former Met, a Charlotte native, went to Ardrey Kell High School, batting .300 this season for Gastonia. As Reinheimer, a guy that comes to us out of the Mariners organization a season ago. Was out in Tacoma, 91 games, 79 hits with 13 doubles, 4 home runs, and 34 RBIs as a swing there fouled off of the leg. And that one never feels good, even on a warm night. So Reinheimer going to walk it off. Goose Gotso coming out, and that's one of those ones, like I say, goes right off the shin and caught it right off the shin bone. That's just going to be a raspberry like no other. Training staff going to come out and look at him as well. As we mentioned, Reinheimer, growing up right down the road, went to Ardrey Kell High School, played his college ball out a little farther east at East Carolina. Of course, the Pirates falling in the Super Regional to Texas. Texas going on to lose at the College World Series so far, as they're already into the semifinals. But 196 hits in his collegiate career, 101 runs scored with 24 doubles. So a guy that got on often. In 176 games, had 196 hits. Do the math. That's more than 1 a game. So a round of applause from the crowd here as Reinheimer, a tough guy, will stay into the box. Tow his way back in 0-1, and that's always the, double-edged sword of it. Not only are you in pain, but you're down 0-1 in the count, too. Reinheimer flew out to center field his first time up on a 2-strike at-bat. That one comes in outside black, called a strike, 0-2. 7 home runs for Reinheimer, 37 RBIs, and 22 stolen bases for Jack this season. One of those 3 guys for Gastonia that's in the top 5 in stolen bases so far in the Atlantic League. Well out in front of the 2-strike pitch there, 82 miles an hour, taking a lot off of that one on the changeup. Stayed up in the zone, but Reinheimer out in front, so he'll come back up here and try to fight off another one. Joe Rowe waiting on deck. Another 0-2 here from Lawler. That one poked deep left field, but it'll keep on carrying foul. Had the distance. But well foul, as out in front of another 83-mile-an-hour pitch that time is Jack. Reinheimer with 23 Major League games played. Split between Arizona and the latest ones with the New York Mets. All these guys vying for contracts as that one misses upstairs on another 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes now here to the Gastonia shortstop. Guy that's been an everyday guy, and in fact, up until about 2 weeks ago, had played every single inning of the first 36 or 37 games of this season. That's a lot of innings, folks. As this ball lined out right side, carrying back is Heath, and he'll make the play for out number one, excuse me. Not a bad piece that time, but right at Nick Heath. And that'll bring up Joseph Rosa. As you hear the introduction from PA announcer and, of course, road radio voice and Brian Rushing, director of broadcasting for Gastonia, of course, thanking him for each and every opportunity. Honored to be a part of the team that brings you Gastonia Honey Hunters baseball here in 2022. Joe Rose steps up, 0 for 1 with a ground out his first time up. Lawler deals. That one misses out and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Rosa having one of those kind of seasons that you're hoping he'll be here for all 132 games, but the way he is hitting, I imagine come All-Star break, maybe before, but definitely after, someone's going to come knocking and have a few questions on whether or not he'd like to come and play for him somewhere in the minor leagues. Rosa spent 6 minor league seasons with the Mariners in his career, split 90 games last year between AAA and High A for the Mariners organization, 78 hits in those 98 games. Almost 500 games played in the minor leagues so far in his career with 474 hits. 2-0 now here to one of the most dangerous hitters in the league all season long. He has not cooled off at all. 326 coming into tonight. 3-0 pitch set to come home. And one of the few guys that will always have the green light when it comes to a 3-0 pitch. Didn't like it. He'll let it go for strike 1, but Lawler's still got to come back with a couple of more. Rosa grew up in New York City. A lot of talent comes out in New York. That ball lined left side right to the shortstop. Hot shot as Justice takes it in, throws it across for out number 2. So same result as his first at-bat. That one, though, a little bit more exit velocity behind it, and Justice a good job to stay down. We talked about it. Connor Justice, a heck of a shortstop defensively. 2 up, 2 down here for Ryan Lawler. That'll lead it up to Luis Castro. Struck out his first time up. Playing out at first base tonight is Castro. He's played some third, some first, and of course DH a good amount. Has seen his at-bats continue to increase as they expected them to. After not playing a ton to start the season, has now played 36 games as Castro, 30 hits to speak of at a .259 average. First one misses up, 1 ball, no strikes. Lawler trying to match the 1-2-3 that Anderson put up in the top half of this inning. And more importantly, trying to throw up the first 0 for the Gastonia lineup so far in their first 3 at-bats. 1 in the first, 3 in the third. 1 in the first, 3 in the second. All via the home run. A solo shot by Rodriguez got us started, and a 3-run shot with 2 outs by Levy in the bottom half of the second. Has it at a 4-1 clip right now in this bottom of the third. 2-0. That ball lined out into left center field. That one is carrying, but right there is Anthony Seymour in the left center field gap, and that'll do it for the bottom half of the third. Scoreless in both the top and bottom half. It'll remain a 4-1 lead. On to the fourth we go. A third of the way through this one. Gastonia on top. Looking for win number 37 here on this Tuesday night. We'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Gastonia Honey Hunters Baseball on WGNC 1450 AM, 101 FM. Back right after this.
Whether you're stuck in traffic after a long day at work or working through a 10-game road trip, nothing feels as good as being home. If you're looking to enter the marketplace as a buyer or a seller, Moss Realty has a proven history of results with professionals that operate in the highest spirit of ethical conduct. Let them work for you. Call 704-865-5555 and find out how Moss Realty gets it done. 704-865-5555, Moss Realty.
The Gastonia Honey Hunters are looking for host families this Atlantic League season. If you have a little free space in your home and a love for the grand old game, then hosting a player this summer is a great experience with tons of perks. Call me, Brady Salisbury, at 704-874-1810. That's 704-874-1810.
The Gastonia Honey Hunters, your hometown team. If coming to a Honey Hunters game is good, then coming to a game as a group is better. If you're a school, church, or civic organization looking for a great time together, call 704-874-1810 and ask about a group package. The number again is 704-874-1810. Ask about our picnic options that include hot dogs, sliders, and pulled pork. 704-874-1810. Honey Hunters Baseball. Better with friends.
Honey Hunters on top 4-1 after 3 innings here in Gastonia on this Tuesday night. Set to go once again is John Anderson out for his 4th inning of work. 2 of his 3 jobs so far have come up 1, 2, 3. Top half of the order both times, funny enough. It was this part of the order in the bottom of the second. 3 straight walks led the inning off. An RBI single by Tyler Blom was the lone run of the game so far for Charleston. Strikeout, a 6-4-3 double played in the inning by the 8 and 9 hitters in the lineup for Anderson to end the bottom of the second with limited damage in an inning that started out going the opposite direction. Alfredo Gonzalez will dig in, earned a walk, and is that lone run so far for Charleston. Venezuelan native. Spent time in the majors as a part of the White Sox organization. As first pitch comes home to him, first pitch swinging well out in front on the breaking ball. Not a bad mix of speeds, and that is what Anderson will do. Now, don't get me wrong, we talked about it. The velocity has creeped up here tonight. 92 miles an hour, one of the faster couple of pitches we've seen from Anderson this season. But has an uncanny awareness of when to break off that breaking ball and, of course, mix up some speeds. Almost the Tom Glavine mentality from the left-handed arm slot. 1 ball, 1 strike as the second pitch misses high. Not a bad guy to emulate your game off of. Anderson rocks and fires here on the 1-1. Outside again. 2 balls, 1 strike here to Alfredo Gonzalez. Gonzalez, we talked about it, coming in hitting .296 against lefty this year. 8 hits, just 27 at-bats so far this season against left-handed pitching, my apologies. On the whole, though, Gonzalez, a .284 hitter. Another one high across the numbers. They'll let it go again, and sometimes you get better plate discipline from opposing catchers. Now, a lefty pitcher throwing a high fastball to a righty sometimes is a little bit too hard to lay off for right-handed hitters. Fortunately, though, for Alfredo Gonzalez, hasn't been tempted just yet. 3-1. Ball skied out to center field, but Gonzalez just missed that as he slams the bat down. Backpedaling is Rodriguez to the base of the warning track for out number 1. 3-1 fastball left up in the zone, and Gonzalez just missed it, but either way, Anderson will take it for out number 1. Now 6 consecutive retired for Anderson dating back into the second inning. Diego Goris, the second baseman, digs in. He was stranded at third back in the second. Goris comes in with 23 hits, hitting .232 so far this season. Out of Santiago, Dominican Republic. Lines one right back to John Anderson as he picks it up around the brim of the hat and fires it on over to first for out number 2. So a quick hot shot right back to Anderson, but he's awake, and he has the ball over to Luis Castro for out number 2. Another 2 up, 2 down here to start the inning. That'll bring up Yovan Gonzalez, and at least Gonzalez will step up with nobody on. A propensity to hit the ball pretty high and deep if he can catch a hold of it. 1-3 on the put out there by Anderson. We appreciate you listening in here on this beautiful Tuesday night. Mike Glennon alongside you. for a 3-game set against Charleston for the 3rd straight week. This is the 2nd straight week here in Caramount Health Park. Jovan Gonzalez, the DH here tonight, another catcher. The sound stable of catchers that Charleston has. 2-0 now as the second one misses outside as well. Jovan Gonzalez hitting over 300 this season. 4 home runs, 2 of them coming back on that Wednesday night matchup a week ago. 3-0 now as that one misses outside and upstairs. And with 2 outs, try not to find the 4th walk of the game through as many innings. Here's John Anderson. Kicks and deals. Called a strike. Jovan Gonzalez taking the whole way. Waiting on deck, Tyler Blom. The lone blemish on the record so far for John Anderson with that RBI single back in the second. High leg kick. 3-1 is a 3-2 count now as that one hits the outside black, and right back in it comes John Anderson. Still got to bring him one, but now Gonzalez has to protect with a 2-strike, 2-out count. Here it comes. Popped up right side. Playable out there for Zach Jarrett. He'll battle the sun, but he'll make the play for out number 3. And another 1-2-3 back-to-back innings for John Anderson. And Anderson once again rolling here tonight. 4-1 still the lead. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Ascanio, Hampton, and Jarrett due up when we get back here on the Honey Hunters Radio Network. 1450 WGNC, Gastonia, Charlotte. We're back right after this.
Fans, make sure that you come out for an exciting June at Caramount Health Park as your Gastonia Honey Hunters take on the best of the Atlantic League. On June 10th through 12th, the High Point Rockers make their way to Caramount Health Park. On June 14th through 16th, as well as the 21st through the 23rd, the Charleston Dirty Birds come to Caramount Health Park. The Wild Health Genomes return to Caramount Health Park from June 28th through the 30th. Get your tickets by calling 704-874-1810. The number again, 704-874-1810. 704-874-1810. Gastonia Honey Hunters Baseball, your hometown team. Get social with your favorite baseball team at Go Honey Hunters on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. That's at Go Honey Hunters on all of our social media platforms. Since 1927, GSM Services has been the experts for providing services and finding solutions for issues such as heating and cooling, hot, cold, or drafty rooms, high utility bills, nasty crawl spaces, attic insulation, duct and dryer vent cleanings, indoor air quality, and much more. GSM Services, your one-stop shop for all comfort issues in your home. GSM offers 100% satisfaction guaranteed, and right now they're offering a free home energy audit. So if you're having any issues in your home or office, know that you can always trust leaving your comfort to GSM. Call 1-800-NEW-COOL or visit GSM-since-1927.com to talk to someone about any comfort issues you're having in your home. GSM is a proud sponsor of your Gastonia Honey Hunters.
John Anderson out there rolling back-to-back 1-2-3 innings on the mound. Has his team on top 4-1 as Ryan Lawler will come back out for his 4th inning of work. 3 hits and 4 runs to show for it. All 4 runs coming via the home run, as 2 of those 3 hits have left the yard so far, and that'll bring up Raider Ascanio, who led off the bottom of the second with a walk. Came around to score on that 3-run shot by Stuart Levy with 2 outs. He'll lead things off here in this bottom half of the 4th inning. Reese Hampton waiting on deck. Zach Jarrett due up after that. Ascanio set to go as Lawler deals upstairs, and that one will miss out and away. Lawler a 6.23 ERA after the first inning, and that continues to climb here as another 3-run shot. 2-0 now as the second pitch misses outside. Take a look around the league as the night continues to develop. Right now, Gastonia doesn't care about anything else, just trying to get the job done here at home and keep pace atop the league. 6.5 game lead. We talked about it. Right now, the magic number standing at 8. But, of course, that due to change depending on what happens throughout the next week or two. Southern Maryland, on the other hand, I think their magic number is sitting about 2 right now. Lancaster up over York right now, 5-2 in the 4th inning there. Meanwhile, High Point losing 4-0 to Long Island. As High Point's season, unfortunately for them, has just gone the southerly direction. And it really started back a couple of weeks ago in that 3-game sweep out in High Point. This ball lined out left side. That one should die in for a base hit. Diving as Kelly cannot get there, and Ascanio's on via base hit. Second time on base tonight for Ascanio. This time a single to left. And a leadoff base runner here for another inning for this Gastonia Honey Hunters team. Reese Hampton due up next. One for one with a single tonight is Reese Hampton. 2 hits the other night. Again, in this very game a week ago, 4 for 5 was Hampton with 2 RBIs, 3 runs scored. And, of course, those 4 hits. Runner goes on the first pitch, a high leg kick. Sliding is Ascanio. Did he get there? Yes, he did. Slides in just ahead of the tag. Goris wanted the call, did not get it, as third base umpire Terrence Jones calls him safe. A good jump on a high leg kick from the lefty pitcher. Ascanio guessing right on the first one, and he slides in safely. A runner in scoring position, nobody out, and a 1-0 count here to Reese Hampton. Stolen base 114 now here for the league leaders in the Gastonia Honey Hunters. Low ball across the shoelaces, 2-0 here to Hampton. Hampton, a guy that spent some time here a season ago, 46 games played after spending the first 44 of his season up in high A ball for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Drafted by the Tigers back in the 12th round of 2018. Pitch out and away, 2 balls and no strikes. Becomes 2-1 now as that one called a strike to the outside corner. Always nice to see the youngsters out in full effect here tonight. A lot of them got their gloves looking for some souvenirs. Beautiful night for baseball in Gastonia. Humidity has stayed away for the vast majority of the day despite temperatures up over 90. And a big rip there by Hampton. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Ascanio led it off with a single to left and stole a bag. He waits at second base to be knocked around. Zach Jarrett waits on deck here as Hampton has a 2-2 count, nobody out. Bottom of the 4th in a 4-1 game. This ball roped out into right center. That's going to be a long run for Heath, and Seymour not going to get there as it one-hops the wall. Comes off of it as Ascanio rounding third. Hampton pulls up into second. RBI double for Reese Hampton to the right center field gap, and it's a 5-1 lead for Gastonia. That was trouble when it left the bat. You could see it out there in right field as Nick Heath was on his horse, Seymour. Both of them with speed. Split them perfectly. They were hoping it would bounce up and out of play. That would have held Ascanio at third. Instead, it hit off the top of the wall and stayed in the field of play. And the no-out RBI double, 5th hit of the game. 5th run comes home to score. And now Zach Jarrett will stand up and try to switch places with Reese Hampton. Jarrett flew out to center field his first time up. Does have an RBI double, though, in his last appearance against Lawler back on Wednesday of a week ago. 1 for 2 with a 2 RBI double in the bottom half of that 6-run first last week against Lawler. One 1-0 as the first one skips just shy of the plate. That one across the shoelaces, 2 balls, no strikes. Jarrett, a 28th round pick by the Orioles in 2017. Talked about it, 205 hits in 205 games for UNC Charlotte in his collegiate career. Part of some pretty good 49ers teams just to our east out in the city of Charlotte. Runner goes, Hampton. That ball smoked deep left field, but well foul as that one sent into the parking lot there by Jarrett, but just a little bit out in front on the 2-0 down and in. And the hit and run would have worked to perfection as that one would have allowed Hampton to slow down heading to third, but instead he'll have to go back to second base. Hampton not a guy that is going to shy away from stealing a bag or two. Leads the league in that category as he comes into tonight with 21. Long look here from Lawler in the pitch. Grounded back up the middle. Playable for Justice. Has to spin. Throws a dime to first. Not in time. As Jarrett beats it either way. Would have been an incredible play through the middle there by Justice. Going to his left. Had to spin. He one-hopped the throw to Tyler Blom. Couldn't control the throw, but I imagine that's going to be a single, as that would have been a pretty near impossible play to make. And especially with the speedy Jarrett coming out of the right-handed batter's box. Runner stays put at second as not far enough in front of him to be able to try to advance. I should say behind him. But that'll bring up Jalen Smith, 0 for 1 today with the strikeout. Smith, though, has made his name known since coming over from Staten Island a couple of weeks ago in that trade. 500 average coming into tonight. Smith now playing in his 6th game as a Honey Hunter. 4 for 9 at the plate. Runners at first and second, nobody out with a run already home here on the Reese Hampton double. That started the inning with a bang again. This part of the lineup has been the difference so far. 4 of the 5 runs coming from this part of the order. Stuart Levy, the one with the 3-run homer, waits on deck. As Smith will call timeout right as Lawler is about to lift his leg, and always a frustrating one for a pitcher. But if the home plate umpire grants the timeout, not much you can do about it. Still an 0-1 count here to the Decatur, Georgia native. The pitch, big rip there on a breaking ball down and in, 84 miles an hour coming in on the hands that time from Lawler. That's where that breaking ball can work wonders against the right-hander. That ball started about belt level, maybe a little bit higher. All of a sudden, Smith trying to make contact off the shoelaces. Now the pitch, runners go. That one skips in, sliding in safely as Hampton slides by the bag, but no throw as Alfredo Gonzalez had to pick that one out of the dirt, and the double steal works to perfection. Second and third, nobody out now. Three stolen bases in the inning so far here. 116 now here for the league leaders. And just confirming it is a double steal. Now Smith has 2 RBI opportunities. 1-2 count here to Jalen Smith. Fouls one back straight into the screen. Folks behind home plate, despite the netting ducking out of the way, just a natural instinct. I know as someone who has sat behind home plate many a time, I have that same reaction when a ball comes flying at your face at about 110 miles an hour. Feel like it's only natural, right? Still a 1-2 count here. Lawler trying to find the first out of the inning. A single, a double, and a single so far here for Gastonia. Breaking ball misses upstairs and outside. Not enough break to it to bring it back into the outside part of the zone. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good at-bat here from Smith, just making Lawler work for it. On that pitch, Lawler above 70 now through 3 innings of work. Trying to hold on to that DH spot here on this Tuesday night. And Smith will call another timeout. Lawler a little behind on the signs here with Alfredo Gonzalez behind the plate. Another one out in front, ground ball. Hey, a one-handed play down there by Chuck Stewart. Puts it in the back pocket with a non-dominant hand. How about that? Throwing hand, bare hand grab there for third base coach Chuck Stewart as he laughs it off with Reese Hampton. Of course, has this lineup hitting the ball very effectively in 2022 to Chuck Stewart in his second season as a hitting coach for Gastonia. The trio of Goose Gotso, Reggie Harris, and Chuck Stewart has proven well this season. Called strike 3 to the outside corner. 83 miles an hour in the first out of the inning, and a breath of relief that time by Lawler as he gets Jalen Smith down via the strikeout for the second time here tonight. But with with 1 out, that'll bring up Stuart Levy. It was a 1-strike pitch, but the ball left way too much up in the zone, and Stuart Levy did the rest. Put one up deep and out of here. Back in the second inning, a 3-run shot with 2 outs. Levy with just his second home run on the season, a 3-run job. And that made it a 4-1 game at the time. Gastonia's already tacked on 1 here in this fourth and looking for more as Levy will take a breaking ball in. Lawler finding some success here over these last 2 hitters with the breaking ball, so riding it pretty heavy for the time being. Long look in here for Lawler on the 0-1. No wind to speak of right now. That's a big rip that time on the 0-1. Gets past him, and it's 0-2. 21 RBIs after the 3-run shot, but down to an 0-2 count here with 1 out. Top of the order, and Hurley Rodriguez due up next. He also has a solo home run today. Led off the game, in fact, on the 3rd pitch he saw. Put it over the right field fence. Levy, another former Baltimore Orioles product. Got as high as the AAA level out of Little Rock, Arkansas. Went to Arkansas State, high above the helmet that time. And a little dust-off, 90 miles an hour. Fastest fastball we've seen from Lawler tonight, but well high. 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Stuart Levy. Lawler another. Fought off there by Levy on the 1-2. It'll remain that same count. Good stab back there by Hurley Rodriguez in the on-deck circle. Good crowd on hand on this Tuesday night to start this 3-game set against Charleston. Already a handful of souvenirs into the stands, both foul balls and, of course, the long ball by Gastonia. Up to number 3 in the league right now. They've hovered between 1 and 3 all season long in terms of total home run numbers. Playing a small park here at Claremont Health Park, but still got to lift the ball up and out. Looking at their home games, out of the 56 home runs, 41 of those have come here at home. Another 2-strike pitch to Levy. Swung on and missed strike 3. Back-to-back big strikeouts here. We'll bring it up to 2 outs. Runners will have to stay put at second and third, and trying to strand the runners with just the 1-run home here in the bottom of the 4th is Ryan Lawler. But that'll bring up the top of the order, Hurley Rodriguez. 4 strikeouts now for Lawler through 3 2/3. Both teams in the opening game of last week lost their DH and had to dig deep into the bench throughout that game. 6-4 win was the final in that one for Charleston. Gastonia would go on to take the last 2 of the series for the second straight week, and now trying to get a Game 1 victory here to open up this 3-game set. Final time they'll play Charleston here in the first half of the season. Charleston, though, has been that team. Don't get me wrong, they do have 30 losses, but the 23 wins they've never been out of. And even in those 30 losses, a vast majority of them, they haven't been necessarily all the way out of a game, within striking distance. Right now, though, Gastonia trying to put some serious separation on the board through the first 4 or 5 at-bats. 1-0 as the first pitch misses out and away to Rodriguez. Just off the black of the plate. The 1-0 comes to Hurley. Skips across the ground, but a good block by Alfredo Gonzalez. Showed his propensity to save a few runs behind the plate last week as he was able to stop a whole handful of pitches in that game that was 14-7. Could have been a lot more out of hand with the way the offense was rolling late in that ball game last Wednesday night. In a 132-game schedule, of course, these guys very familiar with one another. A lot of them with great relationships, all with that same goal. Get that contract. That ball swung on and skied out of play on a 2-0. That was the pitch that was sent over the wall by Rodriguez back in the first. Instead, this time he fouls it straight back and out of play. 2 balls, 1 strike on the 89-mile-an-hour fastball upstairs in the zone. That ball roped back to the middle, stabbed out of the air, played him perfectly to Connor Justice, and that'll do it for the bottom half of the fourth. Could have been a lot worse, but either way, 1 run comes home to score on 3 hits here in the inning. And it's a 5-1 game after 4. We're on to the 5th here in Gastonia. Honey Hunters on top when we get back here on the Honey Hunters Radio Network.
Where your Honey Hunters are playing all season long at www.gohoneyhunters.com. Ticket information, www.gohoneyhunters.com. You're looking for the latest game day fashion or wanting to bring a group to Caramount Health Park. GoHoneyHunters.com. Your online home for the Gastonia Honey Hunters is GoHoneyHunters.com. That's www.gohoneyhunters.com. GSM Services helps people live better through improved comfort, health, and energy efficiency. GSM Services provides high-quality home and commercial improvement services. They offer services for heating and cooling, energy audits, duct and dryer vent cleaning, attic insulation, crawl space solutions, generators, commercial roofing, and HVAC, indoor air cleaning products, and much, much more. GSM has been taking care of their customers' comfort since 1927. This unmatched experience has led them to build reliable processes to serve you and offer guidance to help you choose the right options for your home and business comfort needs. Call 1-800-NEW-COOL or visit GSMsince1927.com to talk to someone about the comfort issues you have in your home. GSM is a proud sponsor of your Gastonia Honey Hunters. Call 1-800-NEW-COOL or visit GSMsince1927.com. Go Honey Hunters!
On we go into the top half of the 5th, a 5-1 game here in Gastonia in favor of your Honey Hunters. And just a note on the stolen bases, the 3 in the bottom half of the 4th give them now 116. That is 56 more than second place. And if you look at that, they have more steals in terms of separation between themselves and the second place team, which is the Lancaster Barnstormers. Then 7 of the teams have total stolen bases on the season. 57 for Southern Maryland, 60 for Lancaster, and of course now 116 for Gastonia. Staten Island, the next closest with 51. Charleston with 48, High Point with 39, and the rest in the mid to lower 30s. Team that is not afraid to steal the base and, more importantly, does it at a very successful clip. Because you look at it, out of those 113, now, of course, they do lead the league in caught stealing just because they run a whole lot more. But even then, 113 out of 140. Not a bad stat First pitch is called a strike here as Tyler Blom will lead things off 7, 8, 9 in the order against John Anderson, who has settled in nicely after that second inning. Gave up 3 walks, a run, and an RBI single, but since that point has retired 8 straight. And it's a quick 0-2 count here to Tyler Blom, second time through the order. That one popped up right side, well foul, and he'll stay up at the bat, still 0-2. Blom has played in 28 games, is hitting .307, Played his time in the South Atlantic Conference at University of Virginia Wise. In his collegiate career, hit .330 as a strikeout there to start the inning. That's now the third of the game here for John Anderson. Had 2 last week, now up to 3 here to start the inning. 9 straight retired for the Gastonia lefty. That'll lead it up to Scott Burcham. He was the first victim of the night via the strikeout. 92-mile-an-hour fastball is the one that retired him. First pitch, breaking ball down and in. Beautiful job. 77 on the gun. Drops 15 miles an hour off the fastball. And hits it over the inside black. Not much you're going to do there as a righty. Besides break your bat in half. Second one is a fastball. Misses well outside and high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Burcham hitting .252 this season. Colorado Rockies 25th round pick back in 2015 out of Sacramento State. Bounced around the AA level and then last year spent his time up in AAA. Started this season and played 2 games in Southern Maryland before getting traded here to Charleston. Ground ball left side off the heel of the glove of Ascanio and into left field. And that'll put a base runner on here with 1 out in the inning. Ascanio trying to go to his left, ends up kicking off the heel of the glove and into left field, so we'll see what they rule that either way. It's a runner at first with 1 out. Left fielder Scott Kelly will step in, an inning-ending double play back in the bottom half of the second. Stranded, the bases loaded. He'll step up here, trying not to find a similar fate here in the top half of the 5th. As we approach the halfway point through this one, 5-1 the score in favor of Gastonia on a beautiful Tuesday night for baseball. Curveball misses up, fastball, misses upstairs. Kelly was squaring to bunt, but pulled it back in time. And they will rule that an error against Ascanio. So still just a 1 hit in the game for the Dirty Birds. Tough break for Ascanio out there, but again, a ball that he could have made a play on. Anderson leaves the 1-0 upstairs, 2 balls, no strikes. Top of the order due up next to Nick Heath. And 0 for 6 combined through the top 3 in the order for the first 2 times through the order here tonight for Charleston. Pretty much the entire infield under the shadows here right now. Right field, center field still pretty well in the sun. 3-0 now as that one misses upstairs. Here to the number 9 hitter. Anderson will look in for the sign. I imagine Scott Kelly going to leave the bat on his shoulder regardless. As the 3-0 comes home, that one upstairs again, ball 4, and it's first and second, 1 out. And that will lead us to the top of the order as Nick Heath will step in. Nobody up in the bullpen right now. Comfortable lead out there, just a 1-hitter being thrown by John Anderson, so plenty of leash still left for Anderson on the mound. As Nick Heath will step up 0 for 2. A line out and a ground out so far in the game. A speedy guy out of the left-handed batter's box, so turning 2 on him is going to take a pretty near-perfect execution. And that will be a strike to start out the at-bat for the 3rd straight time. Nick Heath spending last year in the major league level of the Arizona Diamondbacks organization. Finds his way here after starting this season out in Reno in the AAA level. Another one outside, set up that way, just missed the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Heath was a 16th rounder out of Northwestern University of Louisiana, Northwestern State that is, by the Kansas City Royals back in 2016. Curveball right there, beautifully done. Executed to perfection by Anderson. It's a 1-2 count with 1 out. Played 15 games with the Royals, did Heath back in 2020 at the major league level. 1-2. Comes home, swung on, foul tipped, as that one lined back to the screen. Or I should say foul tipped back to the screen. Off the end of the bat. They'll redo a 2-strike count here for Nick Heath. Just trying to prolong this inning a bit more. 1 out, runners at first and second here. Down by 4, just trying to find some RBI production. Outside and away. Heath not going to offer at it. Good slide out to the left side by Levy. Keeps the ball out in front of him. And the former Atlanta Brave, Chad Sabatka, was traded for by the Atlanta Braves for Orlando Arcia. Spent the first half of this season in Nashville, and all of a sudden that little merry-go-round's coming our way as Sabatka joins the team, so a new signing there. Of course, we'll see him as these weeks progress on, but continuing to bolster the bullpen. Zach Godley has been a great pickup. Ian Matthews has been fantastic, or Ian McKinney, my apologies, has been fantastic. As a swing and a miss, strike 3 out in front of a curveball there as Nick Heath frustrated with himself, but either way, a beautiful pitch by John Anderson, and it's 2 away in this top half of the 5th with 2 runners on. That'll leave it up to Anthony Seymour now with runners at first and second, 2 outs. 4th strikeout of the game for John Anderson. Seymour 0 for 2 as well with a ground out in each of his previous 2 at-bats. Anderson delivers. Curveball hangs upstairs just a bit high as it misses outside, I imagine, as well. 1-0 the count. Anderson approaching 90 pitches here through the top of the 5th, but 1 more out, and they can keep the DH for the rest of the game. Swung on and missed as another one falls off the shelf. Back-to-back breaking balls, this one for a strike. And the count's even at 1-1. Seymour hitting .259 on the season with a pair of home runs, 0 for 2 tonight. And again, looking back to last series here on this field, is 1 for 8 for Seymour. Bertram will dance off of second. This ball fisted out into center field. That'll fall in front of Rodriguez. A high bounce. Rodriguez sends it into second. A run will score on the base hit, as the unearned run, unfortunately, will come around to score here against Anderson. It'll make it a 5-2 game with 2 outs on a little bloop single by Anthony Seymour. Seymour picks up the RBI, and Connor Justice will come up. And same scenario, first and second, 2 outs. Justice 0 for 2 on the day as well. A strikeout in his last plate appearance. Full slate of games, full underway here in the Atlantic League on this Tuesday night. Good weather here on the East Coast. We'll update you with some scores as we head into the halfway point of this game, into the bottom of the fifth after the next break. Right now, Anderson just trying to keep it at a 5-2 game. Ball low and inside. We'll start the at-bat to Justice. 1 ball, no strikes. Henry Martinez getting back up in the bullpen here for Gastonia. Getting his arm loose, as I imagine probably the final inning for Anderson on the night tonight, as he approaches the century mark in pitches. 3 shy of 90. That one called a strike to the outside to Justice, and it's 1-1. That's what Anderson will do. He will come away with some pretty good bounce-back pitches. There's 2 hits allowed. 2 runs have come home to score against Anderson tonight, but still a 5-2 lead. And if he gets out of this inning, will be the pitcher of record. Ball skips in off the chest protector of Stuart Levy, but that's all it does. Runner at second stays put, and it's still first and second. 2 outs, 2-1 count. Here to Connor Justice. Alfredo Gonzalez, the 4-hitter, due up next. The pitch. Curveball popped back and out of play as a late decision to swing on it. It looked like there from Connor Justice, and he fouls it back out of play. Two-two count to the Cartersville, Georgia native. Anderson delivers. Good foul tip there by Justice. Not a 300 hitter for nothing, as he will make you earn that out. And he's doing it right now as that pitch count continues to rise here on Anderson. Still a 5-2 game, so well in control right now. We're just trying to get out of the inning and keep it where it is for his bats to get back up, possibly get him a few more runs, but more importantly, keep the DH for the lineup, and will be the pitcher of record if the score can continue to hold throughout the final couple of innings. Deep breath here from Anderson. The 2-strike pitch. Line left side. Scagno can't get there, and it's down into the corner. 1 run will score. Seymour all the way around from first. He'll score standing up, as actually he'll pull up a bit here coming across home plate. May have rolled his ankle coming across third, but either way, it's a 1-run game after 3 here with 2 outs. And an 2 RBI double by Connor Justice, and it's 5-4. But a much closer game, and that might do it for Anderson here in the 5th. And like I say, Seymour came screaming around third, scoring from first on the play, but as he hit the third base bag, looked like he rolled up his ankle a bit. Still came across the score easily. We'll check out his status as we go into the next half inning. Speedy guy, don't ever want to see an ankle injury. Mound conversation here for Goose Gatso. I think they're going to let him try to stay out there, and they will. So a runner at second, 2 outs. A 1-run game now here in the 5th. The error and the walk come back to haunt the Gastonia Honey Hunters. Alfredo Gonzalez will dig his way in. A walk, a run scored, and a fly out so far here tonight. A single with Connor Justice at second could indeed score another run, so the outfield will play slightly in here. And at least try to keep it in front of him if they can. A lot of arms out there in the outfield, but still a well-placed ball here could lead to a run. First pitch called a strike. Good bounce back there as Gonzalez watches it outside. Frustrated with the call, but a called strike either way. Two-seam fastball to the outside corner. Manager Billy Horn and bench coach Anthony Coromato communicating across the field with one another here as a big secondary. That one roped down the left field line. That's going to tie the game as it one-hops the left field fence. And now Hampton to throw to second base. They hung him out to dry for the third out, but the run scores just ahead of the throw to second, and we are tied at 5 on a 4-run top half of the fifth. And it's a brand new ball game as we go to the bottom half. A bang-bang play there at the end of the inning, but the run does come home to score. Runner thrown out at second, but it's a tie game. Into the bottom of the fifth we go. It'll be Reinheimer, Rosa, and Castro when we get back here on the Honey Hunters Radio Network.
Being first, the beginning of the line. So many people work so hard to be number one. But at Caramont Health, you don't have to struggle to be first. We prioritize you. Our award-winning teams use advanced treatments to serve you. We deliver the compassion and quality you deserve, always growing, building, and innovating for your care, your health, your life. Caramont Health. Care first.
What could be better this summer than a Honey Hunters baseball season? The crack of the bat, the pop of the mitt, the smell of fresh cut. Hey guys, stop. We have turf here at the ballpark. Let's try this again. The smell of fresh cut. Domino's Pizza. Sold nightly here at Caramont Health Park. The Gastonia Honey Hunters and Domino's Pizza. A winning combination. Fans, make sure that you come out for an exciting June at Caramont Health Park as your Gastonia Honey Hunters take on the best of the Atlantic League. On June 10th through 12th, the High Point Rockers make their way to Caramont Health Park. On June 14th through 16th, as well as the 21st through the 23rd, the Charleston Dirty Birds come to Caramont Health Park. The Wild Health Genomes return to Caramont Health Park from June 28th through the 30th. Get your tickets by calling 704-874-1810. The number again, 704-874-1810. 704-874-1810. Gastonia Honey Hunters Baseball, your hometown team.
Back in a brand new ball game here in Gastonia, tied at 5 to the bottom of the fifth. We go halfway through this one. A new pitcher coming onto the mound, so the DH will go by the wayside for Charleston. Either way, it'll be Adonis Uceda to take to the mound. A righty, 6'1", 225 out of Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Will take to the mound to try to keep it at a 5-all game, a 3.60 ERA and 5 innings pitched so far. And making his 5th appearance on the season for Charleston. 9 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, and 3 walks so far. He'll face Reinheimer, Rosa, and Castro. So Reinheimer will bat from the right side, Rosa will bat from the left, and then Castro a righty against the right-handed pitching Uceda. Uceda, an undrafted free agent, has spent from 2013 through 2019 as a part of the Mets organization, made it as high as AAA. But since 2019-20, he has spent his time down in the Dominican Winter League in his home country and back here to the States for 2022. First pitch, a breaking ball, comes in, misses low to Reinheimer. We're back underway here in the 5th. 4 runs on 3 hits, 3 earned runs after the error in that inning by Ascanio. Ball popped up right side. Long run for the first baseman, Blom, looking for the older shoulder catch, and he does, over the shoulder, and he makes a play for out number 1, and a tough break for Reinheimer, as that is how this bottom half of the 5th gets underway. 0 for 3 tonight is Jack Reinheimer. This part of the lineup, a combined 0 for 7 now, as Rosa will step up. Two straight groundouts to the shortstop, but first time he will step up in the left-handed batter's box here tonight. Henry Martinez is up in the bullpen for the Gastonia Honey Hunters. I imagine we will see him in the top half of the 6th. First pitch called a strike. Rose, as he so often does, will take a first pitch from a new pitcher. 76 miles an hour there from Uceda. Right back at it. Curveball grounded right side at the second baseman. Scooped up by Goris, and quickly 2 away here in this bottom half of the 5th. 5-3 on the put out that time against Rosa. One second baseman grounds out to the other, and that leaves it up to Luis Castro now in the tie game. 0-for-2 himself. Lawler exits the game after 4 innings for the second straight week against Gastonia. 4 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, but his team did a good job of at least making it a no decision for him. Uceda looking for a clean sheet himself. First pitch into Castro is a called strike to the inside corner, 0-1. Sun has set across the field, so no part of the field in the sun right now. Lights are on here in Gastonia on this beautiful Tuesday night. Big rip as pulling his head pretty drastically that time is Castro, and it's 0-2. He's trying to turn on that inside fastball up in the zone, but pulled his hands a little bit too quickly. An 0-2 looking to make it a quick 1-2-3. Here's Uceda. That ball skied out right side. No chance at it for the right fielder in Nick Heath, so it'll go well out of play. And we'll stay in 0-2 count. Castro made it as high as the AAA level for the Brewers organization. Out of Caja Seca, Venezuela. Just missed low there as Uceda was walking off the mound, but across the knee it went for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now, to the home plate umpire and Calvin Baker's credit, that has been consistent throughout this evening. Pitch from Uceda. Skied out right side again. Late on the swing. Should be playable out there for the right fielder, and it is for out number 3. So a 1-2-3 from Adonis Uceda in his first inning of work keeps it a 5-all game. On to the 6th we go here in Gastonia. Henry Martinez will be on the mound when we get back for your Honey Hunters on the other side of the break.
Hey kids, have you seen it? Better yet, have you tried it? It's the new look Watson's Kids Zone at Caramont Health Park. The Watson's Kids Zone is new and improved with a slide that I've heard can give you a view of Charlotte. Allegedly. It is the best game day experience possible, and you can find it at Caramont Health Park during every Gastonia Honey Hunters game. The new Watson's Kids Zone at Caramont Health Park. Folks, do you find yourself lacking confidence in public places? Would you like to earn respect among your peers and be well received socially? I've got just the answer. The Honey Hunters Team Store is your source for all the best looking t-shirts, hats, and accessories for you, your kids, and even your dog. Look good, feel good, fan better. It's always drip season at the Honey Hunters Team Store at Caramont Health Park. Folks, it's been the thrill of a lifetime to bring professional baseball back to the airwaves of Gaston County. As a lifelong supporter of Gastonia baseball, I understood at an early age how important it was to hear the game when I couldn't be at the game. And with the advent of internet streaming now, Gastonia Honey Hunters games have even more import within the community. It also provides a great opportunity to get your message out to the Gaston County community. If advertising with the Honey Hunters is something that interests you, give me a call at 704-874-1810 and inquire about advertising with the Gastonia Honey Hunters. The number again, 704-874-1810. The Honey Hunters Radio Network, your hometown team. Thank you for supporting Gastonia baseball.
Henry Martinez will replace John Anderson on the mound as we're on into the 6th inning and a tie game at 5 apiece. Like we said earlier, no lead is safe against this Charleston lineup. A team that never is seemingly out of a game, and once again they proved that to be right. coming up with 4 big runs in the top half of the 5th to tie this game at 5. As second pitch, my apologies, skied out to shallow center field. On comes Rodriguez, dives and makes the play as he came flying in. Reinheimer, no play out of the shortstop position on it, and Rodriguez diving in like Superman makes the play for out number 1. And the web gem flashing the leather out there is Hurley Rodriguez. And I guess that's one way to get it started defensively, especially for Martinez, is a tip of the cap for Martinez to his teammate and Rodriguez out there in center. Yovan Gonzalez, the DH, steps in. I should say a pinch hitter now as they lose the DH, and not a pinch hitter. Adonis Uceda, the pitcher on the other side, will dig in here. DH gone now for the remainder of the game. And after a good first inning of work, Uceda will step in. 2-0, though, here to the opposing pitcher. Always that cardinal sin as the guy on the mound don't ever want to walk an opposing pitcher. Big rip on a fastball there, 91, and Uceda tried to put it back to Charleston. A wry smile from Billy Horn there down the third baseline. The manager at least liking the effort on it. Now to miss, 3-1. So Uceda just trying to find his way onto the base if he can. First register at bat of the season for Adonis Uceda, and he swings one that probably would have been ball 4, but swings and misses, spins his way all the way around on a 360. And he laughs with Stuart Levy behind the plate. So where that chess match comes into play. Ground ball left side, foul ball off of the foot. Got down to Raider Ascanio at third. He would have backhanded it, but again off the front of the toe that time and out of play for a foul ball. Appreciate you joining us. Mike Glenn alongside you for this game on this beautiful Tuesday night opening game of a 3-game set for the 3rd straight week against the Charleston Dirty Birds. 2nd straight here at Caramount Health Park. Another 2-strike pitch. Skied right side. Long run there for Castro. Trying to will it out of play is Adonis Uceda, but he cannot as the play made in front of the dugout there by Luis Castro on the long run. And 2 outs here for Martinez. So the pop out to the first baseman there will lead it 2 outs up to Tyler Blom, the first baseman, 1 for 2 tonight with a strikeout and a single. First time he has faced Martinez, and first time we've seen this lineup go up against a right-handed pitcher tonight. First pitch swinging, stabbed by Castro for the 2nd straight play. That one a lot harder shot, and Blom just shrugs his shoulders at it and says, what else am I supposed to do? You heard the crack of the bat, but 1-2-3 goes Martinez, and it remains a 5-5 game. On to the bottom of the 6th, looking to regain the lead of the Gastonia Honey Hunters when we get back here on the Honey Hunters Radio Network.
Season long at www.gohoneyhunters.com. Ticket information, www.gohoneyhunters.com. You're looking for the latest game day fashion or wanting to bring a group to Caramount Health Park. GoHoneyHunters.com. Your online home for the Gastonia Honey Hunters is GoHoneyHunters.com. That's www.gohoneyhunters.com. Fans, make sure that you come out for an exciting June at Caramount Health Park as your Gastonia Honey Hunters take on the best of the Atlantic League. On June 10th through 12th, the High Point Rockers make their way to Caramount Health Park. On June 14th through 16th, as well as the 21st through the 23rd, the Charleston Dirty Birds come to Caramount Health Park. The Wild Health Genomes return to Caramount Health Park from June 28th through the 30th. Get your tickets by calling 704-874-1810. The number again, 704-874-1810. 704-874-1810. Gastonia Honey Hunters Baseball, your hometown team. Get social with your favorite baseball team at Go Honey Hunters on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. That's at Go Honey Hunters on all of our social media platforms. Since 1927, GSM Services has been the experts for providing services and finding solutions for issues such as heating and cooling, hot, cold, or drafty rooms, high utility bills, nasty crawl spaces, attic insulation, duct and dryer vent cleanings, indoor air quality, and much more. GSM Services, your one-stop shop for all comfort issues in your home. GSM offers 100% satisfaction guaranteed, and right now they're offering a free home energy audit. So if you're having any issues in your home or office, know that you can always trust leaving your comfort to GSM. Call 1-800-NEW-COOL or visit GSMsince1927.com to talk to someone about any comfort issues you're having in your home. GSM is a proud sponsor of your Gastonia Honey Hunters.
Gavin Whelan will be the one on the mound here as we go in to the top half of the sixth. Interesting decision there. Let the pitcher bat, but they will switch pitchers here. Radier Scagno will be the one to lead things off. Tied at 5, bottom of the sixth inning. After a 4-run top half of the fifth, tied us at 5. 4 quick runs to start the game through the first and second at-bats of the Honey Hunters, all of them coming via the long ball. They added one to make it a 5-1 game in the fourth, but then 4 straight with 2 outs in the top half of the fifth for Charleston has us where we are at a 5-5 game here into the bottom of the sixth. Scagno trying to make up for the error that he had back in the top half of that fifth. Good job out of the bullpen, though, as Scagno skies one down the left field line. Long run for the left fielder. Diving and making the play is the left fielder. And that's the second straight inning we've started with a web gem from an outfielder. This time, left fielder Scott Kelly dives in, makes the play for out number 1. And a mighty fine play down the left field line on a strange swing by Scagno. Thought he fouled it off. Instead, had to get up on his horse and try to get to first base, but instead of diving, playing left for the out. Scott Kelly almost giving himself whiplash out there. Either way, makes the play 1 up, 1 down, as Reese Hampton will step up to the dish. First time they've been able to sit down to Scagno tonight. This first pitch swinging for Hampton. Another diving play in right field. This time, as no longer out there is Nick Heath. We'll figure out who's in right, but either way, a diving play for the out. So back-to-back robberies here by the outfielders, and it's quickly 2 away for Gavin Whelan. That'll bring up Zach Jarrett now, the right fielder. Again, Nick Heath wasn't right, as looks they shifted him out to center. Scott Kelly now into the second base position, it looks like. So we'll get all the switches. We saw Billy Horn do this last week when they lost the DH. It was about a 4-way shift, so we'll try to make all those changes for you here in just a moment. Either way, a 1-0 count as Jarrett steps in, trying to prolong the inning, at least make Gavin Whelan throw some pitches here in this bottom half of the sixth. 2-0 as the curveball misses down. Wayman in now his third appearance, 3 innings pitched so far. 2 earned runs, 2 hits, a strikeout, and a walk. Was picked up last week by this Charleston team. His first pitch as a Dirty Bird was against Gastonia. That was back in that game. In fact, followed up suit of Lawler. Either way, a 3-0 count here to Jarrett. Fastball outside and away, ball 4. And that'll put a runner on first base. And now looks like Jake Skoll will step in as the pinch hitter in the DH spot. Lefty on righty. in a big spot here for Jake Skoll, and it always seems to be that time of game when Jake Skoll comes up with a big hit. Jalen Smith went down twice via the strikeout in the DH spot, so Skoll will step in for him here in the 6th inning with a runner at first base, 2 outs, trying to make something happen. A fan favorite here in Gastonia, one of the best returning outfielders from a season ago in the Atlantic League. Hitting .222, first pitch swinging. Pops it up into shallow center. Backpedaling is Justice. He'll make the play for out number 3. So 1 pitch to Skoll and a 3rd out of the inning. It will remain a 5-all game. To the back third of the game we go. We're back here on the Honey Hunters Radio Network, WGNC, when we get back on 1450 AM, 101 FM, WGNC.
GSM Services helps people live better through improved comfort, health, and energy efficiency. GSM Services provides high-quality home and commercial improvement services. They offer services for heating and cooling, energy audits, duct and dryer vent cleaning, attic insulation, crawl space solutions, generators, commercial roofing, and HVAC, indoor air cleaning products, and much, much more. GSM has been taking care of their customers' comfort since 1927. This unmatched experience has led them to build reliable processes to serve you and offer guidance to help you choose the right options for your home and business comfort needs. Call 1-800-NEW-COOL or visit GSMSince1927.com to talk to someone about the comfort issues you have in your home. GSM is a proud sponsor of your Gastonia Honey Hunters. Call 1-800-NEW-COOL or visit GSMSince1927.com. Go Honey Hunters!
Being first, the beginning of the line. So many people work so hard to be number one. But at Caramont Health, you don't have to struggle to be first. We prioritize you. Our award-winning teams use advanced treatments to serve you. We deliver the compassion and quality you deserve, always growing, building, and innovating for your care, your health, your life. Caramont Health. Care first.
What could be better this summer than a Honey Hunters baseball season? The crack of the bat, the pop of the mitt, the smell of fresh cut. Hey guys, stop. We have turf here at the ballpark. Let's try this again. The smell of fresh cut. Domino's Pizza. Sold nightly here at Caramont Health Park. The Gastonia Honey Hunters and Domino's Pizza. A winning combination.
On to the back third of the game we go. Top 7 here in Gastonia, tied at 5 between your Gastonia Honey Hunters and the Charleston, West Virginia Dirty Birds, as another tight Tuesday night game for the 3rd straight week between these two. Charleston trying to take their 3rd consecutive Tuesday win against this Gastonia franchise here in 2022. Mike Lennon alongside you. Euclides Lair will be the latest pitcher into the ballgame. 13 innings pitched. A 1.35 ERA with 9 strikeouts so far for Lair here in 2022. He'll be faced by Scott Bertram and Scott Kelly to lead things off, then back to the top of the order. A couple of switches to make note of here as we continued on. And a fly out to right field as Zach Jarrett camps underneath it, and 1 up, 1 down here for Lair. Both bullpens at least doing their job right now. Trying to put zeros up on the board. That will be Scott Kelly as he switched to second base. After all that switching, again, Charleston for the 3rd out of the last 4 games in this series, or I should say in this matchup, they have lost their DH. So, of course, that becomes a giant poker game, if you will, for Billy Horn, having to switch around everybody every which way. Heath moved out to center. Corey Bird came into right. Still trying to figure out who's in left. Scott Kelly was out at second. Kind of playing the, what's that? The hat game, if you will, but with players. 3-card Monty. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Lair misses outside, 3-0 here to the number 9 hitter in Kelly. Kelly walked and scored back in that 4-run fifth. 1 out, trying to get on for a base runner here for the top half of the order, whoever it might be. And he will indeed, on 4 straight pitches, earn a walk. So we will see Nick Heath, who stayed in the game. He moved over to center field. 0 for 3 on the night so far. First time we'll see him against a right-handed pitcher, though. All 3 of his previous at-bats against the lefties. Now he'll step up here from the left-hand side of the plate as he always is. High toe tap in that stance as Lair brings one home. A 3/4 arm delivery, inside fastball, 90 miles an hour. That's one thing that is unique about Euclides Lair. A little 3/4 delivery, and he can really paint the inside-outside corners depending on which side of the plate you're on. Curveball swung on and missed down in the zone. Got him chasing, dropped 15 miles an hour off the fastball as that one bounced about a 6 inches shy of the plate, but got the swing and miss either way. Quickly 0-2. On deck, Corey Bird. And a check swing down to the second base umpire, always a tough one. So, no, says the home plate umpire on the curveball, held back in time. 1 ball, 2 strikes, with 1 out in the inning and a runner at first. Runner goes, swung on and missed, strike 3. Throw down his second, not in time, as the runner will steal second base either way. It's a swinging strike 3 for the second straight trip to the plate there for Nick Heath. He's 0 for 4 tonight. First strikeout of the day for Lair. Lair will pick up strikeout number 10 on the season with that latest K. And now Corey Bird will step in on the left-hand side of the plate. He replaced Anthony Seymour in the 5th. That ball hit into right, and he'll find his way on via the base hit. Runner coming home from second. Throw home, not in time, as sliding ahead safely is Scott Kelly. A low throw from Zach Jarrett as it bounced a few too many times, and it will indeed, with 2 outs, give Charleston the lead. So Scott Kelly stole second base, and then on the single, an RBI for Corey Bird in his first at-bat of the day, and it's the biggest so far. Gives Charleston a 6-5 lead here in the top half of the 7th. Connor Justice will hit in the 3 spot. One of the biggest blows in the game so far, a 2-run double down the left field line his last time up, well out in front of the 88-mile-an-hour fastball that time by Lair. Lair looks in for the sign. Justice in the box on the right-hand side of the plate. Runner leads from first. Good pitch to the outside. Just misses, though, as that one can't quite find the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike, but damage done so far. 5 unanswered runs for Charleston in this game has given him a 6-5 lead. Slider. Jumping play there by Luis Roman at third as he went up and made the play. Just newly entered into the ball game over there at third was Luis Roman, and he comes up with a big-time play to save extra bases. And it remains a 1-run game. To the 7th inning stretch we go. All of a sudden, for the first time tonight, Gastonia looks up in a deficit. We'll see if they can put something together. 9-1-2 in the order, due up when we get back here on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere.
Hey kids, have you seen it? Better yet, have you tried it? It's the new look Watson's Kids Zone at Caramont Health Park. The Watson's Kids Zone is new and improved with a slide that I've heard can give you a view of Charlotte. Allegedly. It is the best game day experience possible, and you can find it at Caramont Health Park during every Gastonia Honey Hunters game. The new Watson's Kids Zone at Caramont Health Park. Folks, do you find yourself lacking confidence in public places? Would you like to earn respect among your peers and be well received socially? I've got just the answer. The Honey Hunters Team Store is your source for all the best looking t-shirts, hats, and accessories for you, your kids, and even your dog. Look good, feel good, fan better. It's always drip season at the Honey Hunters Team Store at Caramont Health Park. Folks, it's been the thrill of a lifetime to bring professional baseball back to the airwaves of Gaston County. As a lifelong supporter of Gastonia baseball, I understood at an early age how important it was to hear the game when I couldn't be at the game. And with the advent of internet streaming now, Gastonia Honey Hunters games have even more import within the community. It also provides a great opportunity to get your message out to the Gaston County community. If advertising with the Honey Hunters is something that interests you, give me a call at 704-874-1810 and inquire about advertising with the Gastonia Honey Hunters. The number again, 704-874-1810. The Honey Hunters Radio Network, your hometown team. Thank you for supporting Gastonia baseball.
This is favorite outfielder for the Gastonia Honey Hunters, and you're listening to the Honey Hunters Radio Network.
Bottom 7 in a brand new ball game. 6-5 is the deficit now here for Gastonia. 5 unanswered for Charleston, West Virginia over their last 3 at-bats. 4 in the 5th, 1 in the top of the 7th. First pitch swinging, driving one deep out again. Stuart Levy, did he get it? Yes, he did! Tie game! Stuart Levy with his second home run of the day. First multi-home run game of the season. And Stuart Levy with the long ball ties us at 6. And once again, it's a brand new game in Gastonia. And in the 9th spot, Stuart Levy, 2 for 3 on the day with 4 RBIs and 2 home runs. 6 all as we go back to the top of the lineup with Hurley Rodriguez. 1 for 3 on the day himself with a solo shot to lead off the game. That was the lone run in the bottom of the first. A 3-run shot in the bottom of the second by Levy made it a 4-1 game. They made it 5-1 in the 4th, but then 5 unanswered until this point. Made it a 6-5 lead, but the first batter to face Gavin Wayman in his second inning of work hits it deep and gone again. And we're tied at 6 once again here in the bottom of the 7th. Rodriguez squaring up on one and a little out in front of it. 78 miles an hour in the breaking ball. Already working on that follow-through there after he fouled it out of play. 0-1. Going back to the Levy home run, that's his 3rd on the season, his first multi-home run game. And just finding the ball up in the zone and putting the head of the bat to it. This one lined down the left field line. If it stays fair, it is trouble, but indeed it goes foul to the left side of the third base line. So Hurley Rodriguez screaming out of the box. We'll have to come back and do it again in an 0-2. We've got a fun one here on a Tuesday night. As to be expected, these two teams have gone back and forth just like this over these last couple of weeks. 98 degrees is the expected temperature tomorrow. Not the band, but the temperature outside. Gas House Bar and Grill in full effect out there in center tonight, and they're being treated, as are the rest of the folks in the house, to a good game. Tied at 6 here in the bottom of the 7th after the solo shot by Levy ties us just a couple of moments ago. Rodriguez trying to get on deck to follow. On base to follow as he fouls one off the inside of the thigh that time. Bounced right back up and in on him off the turf. And so he will writhe a bit in pain And he'll get up, have to walk it off. That one always in a tough spot. So Luis Roman waits on deck. He's out at third base. Reinheimer not in the lineup anymore, doesn't look like. As, like I say, Roman waiting on deck. He will bat in the stead of Reinheimer, albeit playing out at third base. Still the DH in the lineup as John Anderson went 5 innings tonight. Fortunately, he won't be on record for the win, regardless of how this game goes. I guess in that case, he won't be on record for loss either. Rodriguez still walking it off here with the training staff. Guzgatso coming out and talking to him. Venezuela native Rodriguez having a great month of June, over 20 hits. His batting average has followed suit, up over 70 points, as he is good and ready to go. Alfredo Gonzalez helping him out, stacking his bat barrel down on the plate. Rodriguez had a 11-game hit streak going until this past weekend. Saw it come to an end out in Lexington, but of course, Gastonia picking up 2 of 3 against the Legends. One-two count from Wayman. Outside and away. Try to get him chasing with the curve as Rodriguez will watch it even up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. High Point losing 9-3, so Gastonia, if they can find a win here, will make it a 7.5 game lead atop the South Division. We're going to have to fight off a pesky Charleston team. High fly ball, right side. Kelly can't see it on the infield. Right fielder is there, and Corey Bird will make a late play on it for the out. Came up and delivered the go-ahead single. Almost lost that ball up above the lights, and it is that time of the night, folks. Little dusk hour where that ball can get lost up in the clouds, and it did just that, albeit not a lot of them. One out, though. We'll leave it up to Luis Roman. He will bat in place of Jack Reinheimer. Reinheimer was 0 for 3 up to that point. Not sure if they were just giving the rest of the night off. We'll figure that out. Either way, Roman steps in. Lefty on righty matchup, so I guess the percentages are higher in his favor. Takes a first pitch called strike here from Wayman. Wayman kicks and deal on the 0-1. Grounded right side. Playable for Scott Kelly at second. Flicks it on to first for out number 2. Gavin Wayman, a Towson University grad. Spent the first part of this season with High Point and then got traded over to Charleston. Stayed in the South Division. Has spent since 2019 playing in the Independent League. Started in the USBL, went to the Pioneer League last year, and of course now here in the Atlantic League in 2022. Joe Rose steps in with 2 outs, a run home here on the solo shot that tied us at 6. And now Joseph Rosa steps in with 2 outs, just trying to keep the inning going. Deep breath from Wayman. The pitch. Curveball inside. Almost undoes the belt that time of Rosa as he backs out of the way. Rosa comes into tonight hitting .326. Top 5 in the league in average. Top 5 in the league in on-base percentage as well. He has quickly become a fan favorite as he has come up in some big moments so far this season. .556 slugging percentage to boot. The pitch. Outside and away, but called a ball. Evens us up and a ball and a strike. Rosa can't believe it, but it's called strike either way. this is the time of season you get north of 175 at-bats that you really understand whether or not you're having a good season. Undoubtedly, Joseph Rosa is having a heck of a one. 61 hits as he swings and misses there on a 1-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Reinheimer sitting second in the league in hits. Rosa in the top 5 at number 5. Now with 61. Led it for a vast majority of this season. The 1 ball, 2 strike pitch here from Wayman. Line right side. That one's in through for hit number 62 as Joseph Rosa keeps the inning going with a line drive base hit to the right side. And that's exactly what you expect from Joe Rowe there. Comes up with a line drive base hit. And with 2 outs, a runner at first base now for Luis Castro. 0 for 3 tonight, but Castro due for 1 as well. Good turnout tonight on this Tuesday night. 2 for Tuesday, if you will. Wayman looks in for the sign here against Castro. Rosa, big lead from first base. Slide step there from Wayman will keep the runner at first. Curveball misses outside. You know, as a pitcher, the slide step works, but sometimes it throws off your own timing in terms of your release point. And we saw it there. At least keeps the runner at bay. Onis Farfan ready in the bullpen for the Honey Hunters for a possible appearance in the 8th. Inside, hits Castro in the thigh, and it's first and second for Raider Escanio with 2 outs. First hit by a pitch tonight. 76 miles an hour, so he wears it, and Castro will take his time getting his bat and shin guard off. Tried to jump out of the way, but just had too much bite back to the inside corner, hit him right off the thigh, and first and second, 2 away now. Looking for more 2-out magic. The 3-run homer by Stuart Levy happened with 2 outs at the bottom of the second, looking to regain the lead with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs as Raider Escanio steps in. When runners in scoring position and 2 outs, 3 hits, 4 RBIs for Escanio this year. Lines it deep down the left field line as he was out in front. Poked it, would have been trouble, but either way, well foul. Escanio flew out on a diving play in left field by Angel Garced his last time up. Big spot here in this one, though. In the late going, bottom 7. Already a tie game on the Stuart Levy home run, his second of the day. Number 9 in the order doing his job. Wayman on the 1-strike ground ball left side. That one's through. They're going to wave Rosa around from second. Here comes the throw from Garced, and Rosa will stand up, and Escanio gives him a 7-6 lead here in the bottom of the 7th. Raider Escanio comes through, lines one to the left side, his second hit of the day, and it's a big one as Gastonia leads 7-6. And there is that 2-out magic. 4th hit and 4th RBI for Raider Escanio with 2 outs in the inning. Overall on the season, that'll bring up Reese Hampton now. And still with speed on the base paths, if Hampton can duplicate what he did last time, or back in the 6th, I should say, he'll bat from the left side this time. Lined out in his first left-handed batting appearance tonight. Wayman has watched the lead evaporate here as a big rip there by Hampton. 0-1. Castro at second. Escanio at first. A 7-6 lead here in the bottom of the 7th. as the Honey Hunters score 2 to get it right back. A solo shot to lead off the inning by Stuart Levy, and then the 2-out RBI single as a steal now on the throwback to the pitcher, and Castro makes his way 90 feet closer, slides in safely at third, no throw. And that one's stolen on the catcher. Fourth stolen base of the night for the Honey Hunters. Now 117 as their league lead continues to increase. Still 0-1 here to Hampton on the next pitch. Big rip on the outside. Breaking ball, 78 miles an hour from Wayman, who's trying to get out of the inning. 21 pitches for Wayman here in his second inning of work. A little bit different than his first. One strike away from getting out of it. 0-2 here to Hampton. Runners at first and third, 2 outs. Big hack at it, fouls it back into the screen. Ball stayed up a lot there on Wayman. Not where he wanted that breaking ball to go, and Hampton's eyes lit up on it. Saw it as big as a beach ball coming in. Unfortunately, put the top side of the barrel to it and fouled it straight back into the screen. We'll redo it on an 0-2. Hampton hitting .243 this season. In a big spot here in this one. Already 2 runs home here to regain the lead for Gastonia. Looking to add to it in the 7th. Another 2-strike delivery from Wayman. Misses low, ball 1. Not a bad job to hang back that time by Hampton. That ball started up just under the letters, but fell below the knees. Just a bit short of the plate that time there by Wayman. And a good job to hold back on it. Two balls, 2 strikes. Line right side, right at Scott Kelly at second base. And that runner will stay put at third, but not before the Stuart Levy home run ties us. And the 2-out RBI single by Ascanio gives a 7-6 lead back to Gastonia. We're on to the 8th, final 2 frames here from Gastonia on this Tuesday night. Gastonia looking to make it a 7.5 game lead in the South Division when we get back here on the Honey Hunters Radio Network, WGNC, 1450 AM, 101 FM in Gastonia, Charlotte.
Fans, make sure that you come out for an exciting June at Caramount Health Park as your Gastonia Honey Hunters take on the best of the Atlantic League. On June 10th through 12th, the High Point Rockers make their way to Caramount Health Park. On June 14th through 16th, as well as the 21st through the 23rd, the Charleston Dirty Birds come to Caramount Health Park. The Wild Health Genomes return to Caramount Health Park from June 28th through the 30th. Get your tickets by calling 704-874-1810. The number again, 704-874-1810. 704-874-1810. Gastonia Honey Hunters Baseball, your hometown team. Get social with your favorite baseball team at Go Honey Hunters on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. That's at Go Honey Hunters on all of our social media platforms. Since 1927, GSM Services has been the experts for providing services and finding solutions for issues such as heating and cooling, hot, cold, or drafty rooms, high utility bills, nasty crawl spaces, attic insulation, duct and dryer vent cleanings, indoor air quality, and much more. GSM Services, your one-stop shop for all comfort issues in your home. GSM offers 100% satisfaction guaranteed, and right now they're offering a free home energy audit. So if you're having any issues in your home or office, know that you can always trust leaving your comfort to GSM. Call 1-800-NEW-COOL or visit GSMsince1927.com to talk to someone about any comfort issues you're having in your home. GSM is a proud sponsor of your Gastonia Honey Hunters.
Quentin Torres Costa will be the guy on the mound in the 8th inning as it's a 7-6 lead Gastonia watched it evaporate between the 5th and the 7th. 5 unanswered runs gave him a 6-5 advantage. But then a solo shot in the bottom of the 7th and a 1-run single with 2 outs by Ascanio. And once again, Gastonia back out in front, 7-6, as Torres Costa, the 3/4 arm delivery from the left-hand arm slot, will miss outside, 90 miles an hour on the fastball to get us started. He is the setup man for either Bordner or Balaguer. Looks like Balaguer, the one loosening up the arm down there, has been kind of the steady save man so far this season here for Gastonia. Inside pitch that time as it comes in on Alfredo Gonzalez. He is 1 for 2 tonight. An RBI single his last time up. He was thrown out at second trying to stretch it into a double. But Gonzalez, a former White Sox, knows what it's like to bat in big spots. He's trying to get a base runner on here as that ball fouled straight back, trying to tie us on one swing of the bat, but instead it's fouled back into the screen. 6 runs on 5 hits for the Dirty Birds, 7 runs on 9 hits for Gastonia. 1 error in the game. That came back in that 4-run top of the 5th for Charleston. 2-1 the count here to Alfredo Gonzalez in the top of the 8th. Gonzalez, Garced, and then the DH spot comes up. Ground ball right side, fought off that way, scooped up by Ascanio, who slides from third to second, and he'll finish it off at first for out number 1. So just the defensive changes for you. Ramon in at third. Rosa slipped over to shortstop, and Ascanio flipped over to second base. Reinheimer out. Castro still at first. Outfield remains unchanged. Hampton in left. Rodriguez in center. And Jarrett out in right. So Angel Garced will step up. Entered in back in the 5th inning as a part of that 4-way switch again for Billy Horn. Garced, a 161 hitter so far this season, 10 for 62 at the plate. He'll take a first pitch low and away for ball 1. Made a heck of a defensive play out there and left. On a catch, on a dive that is against Ascanio. Ascanio ended up getting his run back, though. 2 for 3 on the night as Ascanio, including the RBI go-ahead single in the bottom half of that 7th just a few moments ago. Torres Costa, 1-1 count, 92 miles an hour on that latest fastball. Costa does have some velocity. He'll hover in the low 90s, but could drop off about 12 to 15 miles an hour on the breaking ball, especially down in and on the hands of the righty. This ball skied deep out into left center. That ball's touched as going back, trying to get there, not going to do it. And Angel Garced, with just his 11th hit on the season, goes yard, and we're tied again at 7-7. Neither team ready to go home just yet. 92-mile-an-hour fastball sitting dead red was Garced, and he hits it over the left center field fence for a home run, and we're tied at 7 apiece in the top half of the 8th. And that was his first at-bat of the game, and he makes it count. So Engel Beltre will step in as the pinch hitter in the pitcher's spot. High chopper right side. Castro has it for the play, and he'll step on first unassisted for out number 2. So Beltre only last a pitch, and he is out, as that'll bring up Tyler Blom. First baseman has an RBI single and a strikeout and a line out to go so far. Had a hard shot to the right side last time, but Castro made a heck of a play on the slide for the final out of the top of the 6th. Torres Costa set to go. First pitch comes across just shy of the knee. Ball 1. Both teams using the long ball here tonight. First home run of the game for Charleston, but it's a big one. Ties us at 7 apiece here in the top half of the 8th. Eerily similar to what we saw last week on that Tuesday night game as well. Big rip there by Blom on the 92-mile-an-hour fastball, well behind 1-1. But in game one of that series a week ago, it was a run in the sixth, a run in the seventh that tied it. Went on into the ninth at a tie game at 4 apiece. 2 runs with 2 outs was the final blow that Charleston needed for the win. As that one skied back and out, 75, 17 miles an hour off on the circle change. And it's a 2-strike count here to Tyler Blom, trying to keep the inning going. Second home run of the season for Garced, just his 11th hit in 63 tries. As Blom will wear one on the number that time inside. You hear the audible gasps from the crowd here in Gastonia, as that had a serious thud to it. So Blom will wear one, and he will head down to first base, and that'll leave it up to Burcham. Burcham was the hero on Sunday for Charleston, and that a 12-11 walk-off against High Point. Steps up now in the top of the 8th. Runner on, 2 outs. Trying to once again regain the lead here in this jousting match. First pitch swinging there by Burcham, skies it back. Both teams trading blows here over these last 3 at-bats. RBI single in the top of the 7th gave them a 6-5 advantage for the Dirty Birds. Then 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th, a home run by Levy and a RBI single by Ascanio with 2 away. Regained the lead for Gastonia at 7-6. And the solo shot here by Garced on the second batter that Torres Costa faces. And it's a tied at 7 game here in the top of the 8th. Bordner now up in the bullpen here as save opportunity is gone for the time being. Cross the knees for a called strike, quickly 1-2. Burcham 0 for 3 tonight, a strikeout reached via the error back in the 5th. Came around to score in that 4-run 5th inning for the Dirty Birds. That ball fouled out of play. Stays 1-2. Burcham, a pesky hitter at the bottom of the order, has hovered in that 7-8 spot over the last couple of weeks in this series. But has done a good job trying to flip to the top half of the order. Scott Kelly waits on deck. Another guy that's done his job. He bounced into a 6-4-3 double play back in the second, but 2 walks, 2 runs scored since that point. The hitting coach for this Charleston team getting it done in the batter's box. Showing off that plate discipline that I'm sure he preaches to the rest of his teammates. Now this ball skied out left side. Hampton with a run out and left. A high hanger that time in a play for out number 3, but not before Angel Garced sends one over the fence in left center and ties us at 7. We go to the bottom of the 8th, looking for a little late inning heroics. Are your Gastonia Honey Hunters? We're back after this on the Honey Hunters Radio Network, WGNC, 1450 AM, 101 FM here in Gastonia, Charlotte.
Hey kids, have you seen it? Better yet, have you tried it? It's the new look Watson's Kids Zone at Caramont Health Park. The Watson's Kids Zone is new and improved with a slide that I've heard can give you a view of Charlotte. Allegedly. It is the best game day experience possible, and you can find it at Caramont Health Park during every Gastonia Honey Hunters game. The new Watson's Kids Zone at Caramont Health Park. Folks, do you find yourself lacking confidence in public places? Would you like to earn respect among your peers and be well received socially? I've got just the answer. The Honey Hunters Team Store is your source for all the best looking t-shirts, hats, and accessories for you, your kids, and even your dog. Look good, feel good, fan better. It's always drip season at the Honey Hunters Team Store at Caramont Health Park. Folks, it's been the thrill of a lifetime to bring professional baseball back to the airwaves of Gaston County. As a lifelong supporter of Gastonia baseball, I understood at an early age how important it was to hear the game when I couldn't be at the game. And with the advent of internet streaming now, Gastonia Honey Hunters games have even more import within the community. It also provides a great opportunity to get your message out to the Gaston County community. If advertising with the Honey Hunters is something that interests you, give me a call at 704-874-1810 and inquire about advertising with the Gastonia Honey Hunters. The number again, 704-874-1810. The Honey Hunters Radio Network, your hometown team. Thank you for supporting Gastonia baseball.
We got a fun one in the bottom of the 8th here at the Gas House on this Tuesday night, opening of a 3-game series for the third straight week against the Dirty Birds, and once again an evenly contested matchup here tonight. 9 hits, 7 runs, 1 error for the Gastonia Honey Hunters, who find themselves tied at 7 apiece here into the bottom of the 8th. It'll be 7, 8, and 9. Jarrett, Skoll, and Levy due up. For your Honey Hunters in this bottom of the 8th, they will face Tanner Duncan, the newest pitcher on the mound for either team. He will replace Gavin Wayman. Wayman had a good 6th inning, but then gave up the solo shot and the eventual go-ahead single to Escanio. Teammate Angel Garcet helped him out, gave him a no decision by hitting the home run in the top half of the 8th. And that's where we find ourselves tied at 7. Going into these final couple of at-bats and regulation innings here on this Tuesday night of baseball. Saw extra innings in a matchup last week as that ball skied out right side, fastball swinging. Just a little bit late there for Zach Jarrett on what a ball that had some serious carry to it. Balaguer and Bordner are warming up. Balaguer getting set just in case a lead is taken here by the Honey Hunters in the bottom of the 8th. Bordner will probably come out if indeed it remains tied into the 9th. Duncan kicks and deals here on the 0-1. Outside and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Tanner Duncan, 3 innings pitched so far here as a Dirty Bird this year. 2 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks in his short time on the mound for this Charleston team. Started out the season with High Point at a 3.38 ERA and 10 2/3. So a total of 10 strikeouts so far this season. That one will miss. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bounced around in 2019 up to as high as AAA in the Houston Astros organization. An undrafted free agent by Houston out of East Carolina University. Former teammate of Jack Reinheimer's. That ball is skied well out of play. Once again, Jarrett just a slight bit late on the fastball on a couple of opposite field hits that probably had the distance had they been stayed fair. Jake Skoll waits on deck. Stuart Levy has the big bat tonight, 2 for 3 with 2 home runs, including the game-tying home run in the bottom of the 7th. Two-two count here as Tanner Duncan comes set. Outside and away as Duncan, a North Carolina kid, born and raised in Tabor City. 27 years of age. Will celebrate a birthday coming up in August. 6'2", 205 righty. Hovering around 92 right now on the gun. Payoff pitch here to Jarrett. Swung on and missed, strike 3 as he dialed it just ever so slightly back. And he got Jarrett to go out and oblige him out and away in the zone. And it's 1 up, 1 down here in the bottom of the 8th as Jake Skoll will take his spot in the batter's box. 4 pitchers for both sides used so far. the normal bullpen by committee for Goose Gatto and Reggie Harris here this year for the Honey Hunters. 3 straight guys, all with an inning apiece. Now Bordner has sat down as Balaguer, the one warming up solely by himself in the bullpen. Big rip there by Skoll on the first pitch he sees on the fastball out and away. He tried to do a little too much with it. And he'll swing and miss for strike 1. But a guy that can change a game with one swing of the bat and do it in a hurry. Long look in here from Duncan, the pitch. Big rip again and another fastball. Foul tipped into the glove of Alfredo Gonzalez behind the plate, but 2 back-to-back fastballs to the outside corner that Skoll just trying to pull a bit too much. 9-3 Long Island over High Point, so regardless of how this one pans out, I imagine at least staying in that 6.5 game lead, possibly 7.5 if they can come up with a win here. Duncan on the 0-2. Curveball down and in, just missed. Might have frozen Skoll a bit, but a good take. 1 ball, 2 strikes here. To Skoll, the DH now in the lineup. Replaced Jalen Smith back in the 6th. Saw 1 pitch, he popped it out. And now he's down 1-2 here in the at-bat here. Stuart Levy waits on deck. 2 for 3 tonight with 2 home runs. Pitch from Duncan, down in the dirt. Skoll went around. Yes, he did. As he's rung up by the third base umpire, Terrence Jones. They'll tag him out here for the 2nd out of the inning. Back-to-back strikeouts here for Duncan out of the bullpen. That brings up Stuart Levy. Looking for one more signature moment. First multi-home run game of the season for Levy. Both of them well out of here over the left field fence. And a chance to play hero once again as he steps back in. $1,684 the attendance tonight for what has been a fantastic game on this Tuesday night for baseball. Going to be a scorcher tomorrow, 98+ degrees. Humidity going to rise again. Feel like it did for a vast majority of that series a week ago. One the count to Levy. Out and away, 2-0. And a guy that right now in Stuart Levy that is seeing the ball well, especially tonight. Lights in full effect on a beautiful summer night in Gastonia. Looking for win number 37 on the season are the Honey Hunters. The 2-0 pitch to Levy. They'll set up outside to him. Inside is where it ends up. And 3-0. Maybe not necessarily too upset if they end up walking him, but they got a guy like Hurley Rodriguez who's waiting on deck. He has a homer back in the first. But a guy that in the month of June has been ripping the ball. 3-0 count. Levy, I imagine, taking the whole way unless it is on a platter for him. He will take it all the way, and it's ball 4. 4 straight there, and in essence, what turns out to be just pitching around him here, trying to play the odds for a guy that's only 1 for 4 as opposed to a guy that's 2 for 3 with 2 home runs. That'll lead up to Hurley Rodriguez. Levy, not necessarily the highest amount of wheels on the team, but if they can find a gap somewhere, we'll see if Chuck Stewart gets free with that arm waving. Bordner back up in the bullpen now here for Gastonia. And Hurley Rodriguez will dig in. It was a 2-0 pitch back in the first. Fired the opening salvo in the game. A solo shot over the right field fence. Has flown out, lined out, and popped out since that point. Guy that can hit against the shift. They do have the shift on him. But we've seen him go opposite field a couple of times over the last few weeks. That's largely why he has those 20-plus hits in the month of June. First pitch down and in on the knees, 1-0. Luis Roman waits on deck. Steady diet of lefties at the top of this order for Tanner Duncan on the right side of the mound. That back foot all the way to the far right side of the pitcher's mound, or the rubber, that is, as the second one misses outside. 6 straight balls here for Duncan after 2 straight strikeouts to start the inning. These last couple of hitters, though, being a little more patient and not chasing. Got a couple chases out of Jarrett and Skoll to start the inning, though, did Duncan. Duncan throws a fastball. A little late on that one was Rodriguez, frustrated with himself as a hittable pitch, but well behind to foul it out of play. 2 balls, 1 strike. Rodriguez spent some time in the Tigers and Phillies organization in his time in the minors. 466 games to be exact played in the minors. 406 hits overall, 65 doubles, 15 triples, and 27 home runs. Racked up 167 RBIs as well, as that one misses way high. 3 balls, 1 strike. Of course, took over as the everyday center fielder after the departure of Johnny Davis, but a guy that more than certainly would have been in the lineup at some point in the outfield, regardless of if Johnny Davis stuck around. 3-1 the count to him here as the last couple missing upstairs from Duncan, as he's losing the strike zone as well. Runner leads from first and Levy. That ball chopped up the middle. Going to be a tough play at second. Throw on to second base. Not in time as Levy slides in ahead of the tag. It was going to be a forced play there, as the only option Kelly had was to go to second base with Justice covering. But Levy, off on contact, and the high chopper gave him enough time to slide in safely. First and second now with 2 outs, and Luis Roman will step up with a chance to play hero. And now a timeout coming, as pitching coach Joe Testa going to come out and have a conversation here with Tanner Duncan. Duncan started this inning off with 2 straight strikeouts, but it's been a walk and a single since that point. And with the conversation, we'll take a step aside for 30 seconds. Come back and join us. We're back right after this. Trying to make it count are your Honey Hunters on the other side of the break.
Whether you're stuck in traffic after a long day at work or working through a 10-game road trip, nothing feels as good as being home. If you're looking to enter the marketplace as a buyer or a seller, Moss Realty has a proven history of results with professionals that operate in the highest spirit of ethical conduct. Let them work for you. Call 704-865-5555 and find out how Moss Realty gets it done. 704-865-5555, Moss Realty.
Quick mound visit there for Joe Testa as he's back in the dugout. Duncan with the ball in his hand. It is his inning to get in or out of. 2 outs, runners at first and second. As that one roped down the right field line, that one's through for a base hit. That'll score Levy from second. Around second to third goes Rodriguez. He's caught up as a throwback to third base. In time as they got him at third, but not before. The RBI single by Luis Roman will deal a fatal blow here in the bottom of the 8th inning and give the Gastonia Honey Hunters an 8-7 lead. Rodriguez a little daring coming around third, didn't hold him up in time. A good throw from Alfredo Gonzalez gets him at third, but either way, damage done. Luis Roman comes through big, 8-7 the lead, and Balaguer will come out to the mound to try to shut things down in the 9th when we get back here on the Honey Hunters Radio Network.
GSM Services helps people live better through improved comfort, health, and energy efficiency. GSM Services provides high-quality home and commercial improvement services. They offer services for heating and cooling, energy audits, duct and dryer vent cleaning, attic insulation, crawl space solutions, generators, commercial roofing, and HVAC, indoor air cleaning products, and much, much more. GSM has been taking care of their customers' comfort since 1927. This unmatched experience has led them to build reliable processes to serve you and offer guidance to help you choose the right options for your home and business comfort needs. Call 1-800-NEW-COOL or visit GSMsince1927.com to talk to someone about the comfort issues you have in your home. GSM is a proud sponsor of your Gastonia Honey Hunters. Call 1-800-NEW-COOL or visit GSMsince1927.com. Go Honey Hunters!
Being first, the beginning of the line. So many people work so hard to be number one. But at Caramont Health, you don't have to struggle to be first. We prioritize you. Our award-winning teams use advanced treatments to serve you. We deliver the compassion and quality you deserve, always growing, building, and innovating for your care, your health, your life. Caramont Health. Care first.
On to the ninth inning we go. Luis Roman playing hero in the bottom of the eighth. Just his second plate appearance since coming on back in the seventh. A big-time RBI single down the right field line that scored Stuart Levy. They got Rodriguez trying to get back to third after he came wheeling around. But either way, it's an 8-7 game, and Jesus Balaguer will take to the mound to try to pick up his team-leading 11th save on the season. 10 of 12 so far as the big right-hander out of Cuba. And in 23 2/3 inning has a 2.70 ERA with 31 strikeouts and those 10 saves, looking for number 11 tonight. They brought him in last Tuesday in the top half of the ninth. It was a tie game at 4 apiece, and with 2 outs, bases loaded, ended up giving up a 2-run single to Nick Longy. But right now, looking up in a high-pressure save opportunity. We talked about it in that game. Sometimes a guy that's used to coming into high-pressure situations in terms of picking up the save, you put him in a game when it's tied, sometimes it's a little bit different. It's a little odd to them, and so maybe you get inside your own head, whatever it might be. That might have been what happened last week, but tonight he comes back in his usual scenario, and he is ready to go. It's 9-1-2 in the order, due up here in this top half of the ninth. Last crack of the bat to try a tie or take a lead here in this top half of the ninth for the Charleston Dirty Birds. Gastonia trying to make it 3 straight and 6 of their last 7 here at home. First pitch from Balaguer, and the flamethrower gets us started at 93 miles an hour. He'll sit low to mid-90s, and of course can break off that breaking ball as well, changes speeds with a nice little circle change down and in on the hands of right-handed hitters to go along with it. 0-1 to Scott Kelly. Roman hugs the line down there at third. Very high pitch that time, 94 on the gun, but misses high. Scott Kelly, the hitting coach for this Charleston team here in 2022. Back-to-back walks for him and runs scored so far in the game. Grounded into a 6-4-3 double play back in the second, but play discipline has come through and played well so far for Kelly in the ballgame. Out in front of a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Not very often can you say that, but either way, it's a 2-strike count. Here to the number 9 hitter in the order. Nick Heath, the leadoff hitter, due up next. It'll be Corey Bird after that. Bird 1 for 1 with an RBI single in his 1 plate appearance in the 7th. Trying to get a runner in scoring position for him if indeed they can. Balaguer looks in for the sign here from Levy. And once again, Levy plays a pivotal role in this game. He's accounted now for 5 of the 8 runs on the night. Drew a 2-out walk. It was a single by Rodriguez that advanced him to second, and then Roman came on and laced one into right field that brought Levy around for the go-ahead run to make it this 8-7 score. 5 runs in in the last 2 at-bats combined for both these teams. Inside from Balaguer, and it's a 3-2 count. So Kelly trying to earn his 3rd consecutive walk, and it'll bode well for this offense. As the last 2 that he has drawn, he has ended up coming around to score. Balaguer on the 3-2. High fly ball to center. Kelly knows he missed it. Rodriguez calls everybody off. And that'll be the first out of the 9th, down to their final 2. To back to the top of the order we go. Big time pitch by Balaguer on a 3-2 count. So Torres Costa will pick up the win if this score stays the way it is. Balaguer would pick up the save, but have to go through the meat of the order now as Nick Heath will step in, trying to avoid the strikeout hat trick here tonight. 0 for his last 2 with K's, 0 for 4 on the evening, swinging on one in the dirt there to start the at-bat, and Nick Heath just not picking the ball up here tonight out of the righty or lefty's arms. Heath, a capable guy, that's for sure. Started this season in Reno as a part of the Arizona Diamondbacks organization, but a big fastball there, 95, as it ratchets up even harder, and Balaguer has him 0-2. Heath ready to go for the 0-2, as is Balaguer. Kicks and deals. Well outside on a high fastball. That one reading 96, so last 3 pitches continuing to head up on the radar gun. And 96 is approaching that you hope you can see it phase. And time is called by Heath, and show respect there to Balaguer. Late timeout is called as Balaguer was set to go into the windup, and the unwritten rules of baseball. It's granted by the home plate umpire, so as a hitter, you get what the home plate umpire grants you. But a nod out there to Balaguer. Now the 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Ball's in the dirt. Levy will run Nick Heath down the line, flicks it on to first, and they're down to their final out as Corey Bird will step into the box as the last chance for Charleston here on this Tuesday night. And those who have stuck it out here and still in attendance, 1684 the final count in terms of attendance tonight, but they've been treated to a dandy of a ball game to open this 3-game series here through the middle of the week. Riley Hovis will get the start tomorrow. At least as of right now, he is the slated starter for tomorrow evening's game against Charleston. He'll face off against Walker Weichel. And then Thursday is Keel and Adams for the Honey Hunters and Dirty Birds, respectively. 94-mile-an-hour fastball misses way high there to Corey Bird. Again, Bird came in back in the 7th and gave them a go-ahead base hit that made it 6-5. Obviously, since that point, it's been back and forth. 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th, regained the lead for Gastonia. A solo shot in the top of the 8th, tied it at 7. And then the Luis Roman single to right in the bottom of the 8th has us at an 8-7 mark. 2-0 count here to Corey Bird as Connor Justice waits on deck. Big rip there on the fastball by Balaguer. 2 balls, 1 strike. Corey Bird in his 4th game now as a Dirty Bird. 7th round pick by the Marlins, I should say, out of Marshall back in 2016. Started this season, I should say, just activated here with Charleston 3 games ago. Big rip around the eyes as he climbs the ladder. And it's down to their final strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Deuces are wild in this top of the ninth here for Jesus Balaguer, looking for his 11th save in 13 tries this season. Looking for win number 37 are the Gastonia Honey Hunters. Misses high with a breaking ball, and it's 3 balls, 2 strikes. A win here pushes their South Division lead to 7.5 games, with just 12 games left to be played in the first half after tonight. The 3-2 to Bird. Grounded off of the inside of the foot. It'll roll all the way out to Castro. Good fielding play by Castro that time. All for naught, though, as we'll redo it. Corey Bird, a Charleston, West Virginia native. Went right down the road to Marshall for his high school career. In college, he hit .300 with 183 hits. Only 1 home run to speak of, so not a guy that's going to launch the ball out of here. But obviously can get on via the average. Another 3-2, line down the right field line. Foul ball. Black pellets came flying up, but luckily for Balaguer to the right side of that first base line. And once again, we'll redo a 3-2. Looking to close it down here for save number 11 for Balaguer. Another 3-2, line to the right side. That one's going to be down and fair into the right field corner. Bird around first. He'll hold up into second with a 2-out double and stands at second now as the tying run in the top of the ninth, as that'll bring up Connor Justice. Justice with a 2 RBI double back in the 5th. Lined out his last time up, but will come up here in the ninth with a chance to try to tie us again. Corey Bird, 2 for 2 tonight. Can't get him out here. And just activated to the Dirty Birds roster and making his name known. First pitch swinging by Justice. A loud crack of the bat, but goes well foul. Balaguer sitting second in the league with those 10 saves. Matt Latos, the former major leaguer, leads the league with 15. Part of that Southern Maryland pitching staff that has been lights out and has run away with the first half of the Northern Division. Connor Justice, though, steps in with a runner at second, tying run out there in this top half of the ninth with 2 away. The 0-1 from Balaguer. Fastball fouled back into the screen, and once again, down to their final strike, go the Dirty Birds. It was a 3-2 fastball on the 3rd try to Corey Bird that he lined into right field and down into the corner for that double, and that's why he stands on second base as we speak. Two-strike pitch, misses outside. Not a bad miss, though, as Justice, definitely some nervous moments in there. Thought about taking a hack at it, but started a little bit too much middle away, I think, there for Balaguer. And I think with that cutter, you want to start a little bit closer to the inside of the plate. Don't want to leave it too far over, but that one started a little bit too far out there for Balaguer. So the 1-2 ready to come home. Balaguer, quick check on the runner. He'll kick and fire. Curveball swung on and missed, strike 3, and that'll do it. Despite the 2-out double, Balaguer picks up the 11th save of this 2022 season for himself and gives the Gastonia Honey Hunters win number 37 and a 7.5 game lead in the South Division in 2022 as they close in on clinching the division in just a matter of about 7 ball games here. We will talk more about that. We will take a break, but once again, 8-7 the final. Gastonia out on top as they make it 37-16 now and take game 1 of our 3-game series. We'll take a break. We're back with a post-game report right after this.
Hey kids, have you seen it? Better yet, have you tried it? It's the new look Watson's Kids Zone at Caramont Health Park. The Watson's Kids Zone is new and improved with a slide that I've heard can give you a view of Charlotte. Allegedly. It is the best game day experience possible, and you can find it at Caramont Health Park during every Gastonia Honey Hunters game. The new Watson's Kids Zone at Caramont Health Park. Folks, do you find yourself lacking confidence in public places? Would you like to earn respect among your peers and be well received socially? I've got just the answer. The Honey Hunters Team Store is your source for all the best looking t-shirts, hats, and accessories for you,